results. They chose Gloria over other agents and they were thrilled with the results. You should call Gloria Lou today with any questions. 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888. It's Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. Find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Wondering if market volatility is the new normal? Are you looking to validate the financial decisions you've made or find out if there's anything else you could be doing? A conversation with an Edelman Financial Engine's wealth planner may give you peace of mind, no matter what's affecting the market. You'll get a valuable expert second opinion and a fresh perspective on your wealth planning. And you'll get insight into other opportunities available to you. Call Edelman Financial Engines now at 833-PLAN-EFE or visit EdelmanFinancialEngines.com for your complimentary retirement review and financial plan. That's 833-PLAN-EFE. Call by Tuesday at 10 p.m. and take advantage of this limited time offer. An $800 value, free. That's 833-PLAN-EFE. Or visit EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. You didn't come this far to only come this far.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or CrawfordButts.com.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Serving St. Louis for over 96 years. KMOX.
Hi, it's Monday morning on the show. Chris Raji, Amy Marks, course, Kevin Wheeler with you here. A lot of ways for you to take in the show. Obviously, 98.7 FM, 1120 AM, Facebook.com/KMOX 1120. You can reach us on the text line anytime something catches your attention. We have the text line open, 314-436-7900. And obviously, you can leave us a voicemail anytime you like. You do not have to wait on hold or anything. You just call, leave a message, whatever it is, as long as it's somewhat relevant to what's being discussed. It's helpful. We've had a few where people just want to get something off their chest, and it's not really relevant to the conversation. So that one, probably not going to make it to the air. But anyway, if you want to try, 314-944-1120.
It could be something really enlightening that we haven't thought of.
No, that's fine.
And in that
If
case, then we'll play it.
If you want to try, that's
but
all right.
Good luck with that.
And also want to let people know at 11:30, Sarah Isger, she's a contributor to ABC, to Politico, also with the Dispatch, and she will be joining us to discuss all things Supreme Court, obviously the decisions last week, as well as more decisions dropped today. The Coach Kennedy case, that would be the football coach who was praying on the football field, and the Supreme Court voted 6-3 that his religious liberties were being infringed upon if he was not allowed to pray on the field. So we'll get more details from her about those concurring opinions and the dissents and what the reasoning was there.
So interesting weekend, huh? I mean, Friday, obviously, we had the big news on Roe, and we spent a lot of time on it. And we'll spend some time on it today, as you mentioned, with Sarah and a few other things here and there. And by the way, if you want to chime in on this question, again, 314-436-7900 is the way you want to go to text us, because a lot going on social media this weekend. And we were a lot of people, and you guys have kicked this around a little bit in some of our text messages and communications too, that talking about how your feed is. And I've seen a lot of people, like, I have to put it on mute this week because I couldn't take all of the nonsense. I know for my own feed, I don't do politics on my Twitter feed, and I don't talk a lot about it, and I don't follow a ton of that on Twitter. So I didn't really have a lot this weekend of being overwhelmed by the Roe story, the overturning of Roe. What about you guys?
Yeah. So my social media was overwhelmed. It was flooded with response to the Roe decision. And it's interesting because Ranj, I want to hear about, what your peer groups were like. I guess the people that I follow, the people I hang out with, lean very heavily left. And so I would say 99% of my social media was really absolute rage. I mean, lots of expletives, lots of, you know, F Kavanaugh, F the Supreme Court, blank America, uh, you know, definitely lots of posts that painted anyone who is pro-life or was in favor of Roe being overturned as, hating women, that type of thing. It got pretty ugly. What's interesting, I will note, and I think this does matter when we're looking at midterms, even some of my friends who would be considered, church going or Christian, especially the younger ones, also were very upset. They are also pro-choice. And I think Republicans are going to have to grapple with that. I think younger Republicans or younger Christians, whatever it may be, and again, Christian means different things, but let's say church-going people are more pro-choice maybe than Republicans assume. And I'm not sure what that does in midterms.
It will be an interesting question moving forward because I think there are a lot of people on both sides of this that did not expect this would ever actually happen. There have always been those little bits of fear that have been thrown out there like, hey, you need to be on the lookout for this. And I know there were people who were ringing alarm bells going back to, probably 2-3 years ago who were saying this could be a possibility down the line. But then there were a lot of voices who were trying to tell us, no, that Roe is safe. It's always going to be safe. It's now been there for so long that it'd be really difficult to overturn it. And now here we are. So there's probably a lot of surprise, even from people who are on the right, who are younger, who did not think that would ever be a thing. Like, I mean, so it likely wasn't one of the causes they were thinking about. But now that it's become an issue and now that it has actually been overturned, there's probably a ton of surprise. And I can't speak for them because I'm not on that side. Now, as I've told you before, I do have like my close group of friends. They're mostly conservative. So I'm about the opposite as you, which is interesting to me.
We've talked about that a lot, how my friends are just very, very left-leaning, 99% of them.
And mine are very, very right.
Yeah.
Which is, but I have not
You guys
talked
should
to them
trade
about
friends.
this. We really should. You can have mine. They suck.
My friends are
horrible.
pretty great. I love my friends. Though.
No, it's actually a good thing. I mean, my friend group is very much mixed. It's neither one or the other. I mean, I got friends on both sides of it.
Interesting.
And when I've gotten a lot of text messages from my friends that lean more conservative and they tend to be more religious people, they are shocked at their children's perception of this issue.
Mm-hmm.
One of my buddies was emailing the group that we all kind of email about these types of things yesterday. And he said, like, it seems like this was his joke. It's like every time a new story or a new thing pops up on Twitter, he hears his daughter's footsteps and she comes down the stairs and she starts an argument with him about whatever that thing is. And my friend is not like hardcore anything.
Yeah.
And his daughter is college age. And he was just surprised at her reaction to it because he thought, okay, she grew up in this environment, went to Catholic schools and all of that. But yet her view is what you're describing, Raj. It's like, no, this is not okay.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going to affect them moving forward, but it could be a thing they haven't even really thought about because this is for many people who are on that side, who are on the right. This has been sort of a crusade for them in a way, where they've wanted to have this thing overturned for so long that maybe in just focusing on getting it done, I guess there's the possibility they have lost sight about what their base actually feels about this, because we know for a fact that 2/3 of the country did not want this overturned. 67% of women did not want this overturned. And that's according to a CBS poll that was just done over the weekend. So it isn't popular. What this decision is not popular in this country. And you have to assume that at least some of the unpopularity rests in your base.
Yeah, and I know we're going to continue this conversation after the news because I want to add some perspective on what this actually looks like. What I discovered over the weekend, seeing all the responses, I think a lot of people don't really know much about the issue. This is going to sound terrible, on like pro-choice versus pro-life, in the sense that most people are not like on-demand abortions through 9 months. I think there are a lot of Republicans who were surprised to find that younger Republicans at least support some abortion through the first 12 weeks. I mean, it's nuanced conversation. I think we need some perspective instead of just throwing fire on everything.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope, we use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Discover your next favorite podcast with the Odyssey app. From Who Done It to How to Do It, we have the biggest podcast for your favorite genre. True crime, history, entertainment, and more. Getting ready for the midterm elections? No matter what aisle you lean towards, we have the podcast for you. From CNN to Fox News to exclusive podcasts from your local station. Find your next binge on the Odyssey app.
Spark Co-working St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Co-working community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadiums, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies and 77 degrees downtown at the Arch. The Supreme Court ruling in favor of the football coach in the Kennedy versus Bremerton School District case. The High Court ruled 6-3. The justices say the coach's prayer was protected by the First Amendment. Joseph Kennedy stopped leading students in prayer in the locker room and on the field, but wanted to continue praying on the field himself, with students free to join if they wished. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson on why justices ruled the way they did.
People, including students, shouldn't feel like they need to join their teacher, their high school football coach, because it's someone in a position of authority representing the government who is basically pushing the idea that they should pray. That's not the route the court took today. I think we should be clear on that.
Police believe a gun went off by accident, killing a Jefferson County teenager shortly after midnight Sunday. Sheriff Dave Marshak telling KMOX the shooting happened at a home on West Fork Drive in Burns Mill. A group of teens were taking the boy who had been shot in the head to a hospital when they pulled over at a gas station at Highway 30 and PP to call for help. They initially told investigators someone shot at them while they were driving around, but police believe that was not the case. One juvenile taken into custody at the home where the shooting took place. As reported on KMOX this morning, 3 people killed in a one-car accident in Florissant. In the 100 block of New Florissant Road, a 4th person in the car was taken to the hospital. Watch for a crash southbound 55 before Imperial, Maine. The left lane is closed. MoDOT could be out there working that accident for another hour. There's a stall northbound 270 past Gravois Road on the right shoulder, and debris being cleaned up southbound 170 at Olive Boulevard. The 2 left lanes are closed, could reopen in about 5 minutes. The forecast, sunny, nice today, the high 81. Right now it's sunny and 77 degrees. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Mosby Building Arts.
Old kitchens, ugly kitchens, cramped kitchens, hopeless kitchens. I'm embarrassed to entertain kitchens. It's time to elevate your kitchen. Trust Mosby Building Arts for gorgeous, next-level results. Visit callmosby.com for kitchen inspiration.
KMOX News Time is 10:32.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Did you know that the average family home takes on 40 pounds of dust per year? Call 314-474-2020 and ask for the DGS special and get $75 off any air duct cleaning packages. That's Zero Res. Spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. ZeroResSTL.com.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Americans are struggling, and in D.C., politicians do nothing. It's time for a fighter like Eric Schmidt. Biden's green energy policy punishing us at the pump. Eric Schmidt will fight back. Biden's big government spending sprees. Eric Schmidt will stand strong. Biden's failed agenda, driving up inflation. Eric Schmidt says no more. Fed up? Choose a fighter. Eric Schmidt, U.S. Senate. AFP Action paid for and is responsible for the content of this messaging. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AFPAction.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
I'm a martial artist, a pilot, mountain biker, hiker. The thing that brings me down is my feet. When my wife finally talked me into going into the Good Feet store, the salesperson there immediately started investing himself in my problem. This is not something that you could solve online. There's got to be somebody there that can help you find that fit. You put in the arch supports and your day becomes better and the clouds go away and it's a good life. I wear them all the time. Good Feet has saved the day.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief. Good Feet arch supports are proudly made in the USA.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Join me Monday mornings at 9:50 for our new feature, 5 Minutes with Number 5. And you know who that is? Albert Pujols. 5 Minutes with Number 5. Mondays at 9:50 a.m. on the Voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Monday morning on the show. Amy Marks, of course, Chris Ranji with you here, and Kevin Wheeler, of course. It is the show on KMOX, at the show KMOX on Twitter, and you can find all the ways to listen, participate. The podcasts are now everywhere that you would find podcasts. Had a person tweet at me yesterday, as a matter of fact, like, hey, are you guys on Apple? Yep, here's the link. Go ahead and find it right there. So really anywhere, including the Odyssey app, which is your easiest bet because it's all concentrated right there all the time. So one of the things that we've discussed, some off the air, obviously some on the air, and it's certainly a discussion in the country at the moment, is what may be next following Roe, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we don't know that anything definitively is next, but there were some cases, Amy, that you brought up. A lot of you didn't bring them up. You just mentioned that Justice Thomas brought them up in his, what would you say, his consenting statement, like
his concurring opinion. He had a separate concurring opinion,
right,
than Gorsuch.
So, in your opinion, is anything next?
I
think that's just what I want to start with. We can dig into what they are, but is that a signal to other people to challenge some of these other things, and should they be challenged?
It's a fair question because I did not expect Thomas, in his opinion, to bring up Lawrence or to bring up Obergefell, which gay marriage, also, contraception. And he did. And I was a bit surprised by what he wrote in his opinion. And I said Gorsuch, I believe it was Kavanaugh, wrote in his concurrent opinion that those things are not at risk because he is the fifth vote. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, I don't trust what Kavanaugh has to say because we know what Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett said in their hearings. And that's fair. I think you have good arguments on both sides for being concerned that the court could potentially look at cases like Obergefell. I don't think they will. If you look at the Bostock case that happened last year, and that was looking at transgender rights in the workplace, you had Neil Gorsuch writing the majority opinion for what was the most sweeping pro-LGBT decision in Supreme Court history, or at least one of them, that gay and transgender people could not be discriminated against in the workplace. And so if you look at the recent actions of judges like Gorsuch, I would think that Obergefell is not at risk. Again, Thomas's opinion was very interesting, and that's why I'm glad we're going to talk to Sarah Isgur about it. I was not expecting him to put that in that opinion, and I can see why people are concerned.
Do you guys at all have any concerns that that is thrown out there by a Supreme Court justice? Like, I'm not sure. I'm asking you because I'm not entirely sure, but there's a part of bringing something up that has not been brought to you that concerns me a little bit, because it's almost an invitation for someone to do that. And I'm not sure we should that the people on the highest court of the country should be trying to invite things.
Then maybe
almost like you're spoiling for fight.
Maybe he's testing the waters a bit
for
just to see what the public opinion would be about it, and to see if and to see if there's any. Well, I mean, there were a lot of people who thought this decision got leaked 2 months ago for that reason. There were a number of different conspiracies that it could have been because, well, it was a liberal clerk or something that was upset about it, or there were people who thought maybe it was somebody who was conservative thinking we can float this out there, see how it plays, and then go from there. I mean, I don't really know. At this point, it doesn't really matter. But I think there's a possibility that maybe, at least from his perspective, he is doing that. But I really don't think that's what it is. I think that that's what he wants to do. I think that deep down, he would really like to be able to. He's the one who, I believe in 1993, there was somebody who worked for him, or maybe a few people, actually. There was a New York Times report on it, and I can go back and find it, where he said something to the effect that liberals made my life difficult for 43 years, and so I'm going to make their life difficult for 43 years. So maybe that's kind of where his head is. Maybe, and I don't know, that was back in the 90s. So, and these were people who worked for him who said that he said that to him, or to them. So maybe it's just that. Maybe deep down, he's really on that extreme side and doesn't want to stop here. Now, that doesn't mean the rest of the justices are going to be along with him, but can we at this point trust they're going to stay away from those things? They can tell us they're going to stay away from those things now, and maybe they're right. Maybe they mean it, but who knows what happens in 5 years?
Yeah. And I can't and don't want to ascribe motivations to Clarence Thomas, because the thing is with the Supreme Court, it's political. It's been political for a long time. And you can say, well, this was deliberate. Conservatives have been working to overturn Roe, and, it was an activist judge. Well, you can argue that Roe was extremely activist in the first place. I mean, the Roe decision pushed the limits of the judiciary and crossed those limits in a way that, as I've said 100 times, even Ruth Bader Ginsburg said could be irresponsible and make it unstable. Because when the court fashions doctrinal limbs too swiftly, they can be extremely controversial. Now, what's interesting with the Supreme Court, we all want them to make decisions according to what we want or their personal beliefs, but technically their job, the whole point of the court, is to be counter-majoritarian. They are not supposed to reflect polls or what people believe, and their job is to interpret the Constitution, not ascribe rights that are not expressly enumerated in the Constitution, right? They're trying to say, what rights are there? What does this mean? If you don't like the law, it's up to Congress to make new laws or amend the Constitution. And I just want to say quickly to that end, the United States was unique in all Western countries in having the abortion rights adjudicated instead of legislated. Europe, all of the most modern Western countries have abortion rights legislated. And because it was adjudicated and each state had different rules, states like California and Maryland and New York have far more liberal abortion laws, liberal meaning, open, to on-demand abortion, than most European countries. And that's something that tells me, I mean, and you cannot say that Europe is religious. I think it's like less than 1% of Europeans go to church. So somehow Europe is coming to some consensus. For them, most European countries focus on viability line, which they draw at 24 weeks. In the United States, California doesn't have those rules. New York doesn't have those rules. Now we know Mississippi, Louisiana, Missouri, prior to Roe, had stricter laws. But returning the abortion issue to the states is how Europe and most modern countries operate. Returning it to the legislative process, I mean.
Yes, but we protect other things at the federal level. We protect other rights, right? And I think what we have is the argument is whose right takes priority or precedence. That's the debate, right? Because pro-life is going to say the child, and pro-choice is going to say the mom, the woman has the choice. And we all understand, and in all parts of the world, there are different standards for what's okay and when it's not. But for the most part, the civilized world does allow for it. They do not have laws that say you can't do it. They might have stricter rules. They might have guidelines, as you're talking about, but they don't say you do not have this option, right? And
right, because it's been legislated.
Right, but we don't leave other issues when it comes to a human's rights, and I'm talking about the women here. We don't leave those things to states. We don't leave any of those other things to the states. We protect them federally. And you're right, we can do that legislatively, which is something that has been, I think, I don't know, I think it's been handled poorly, to be honest, because people didn't want to pick the fight. They wanted to prioritize other things. And if you pick this fight, well, then now you've got something else to deal with. Because I think people clearly mistakenly thought this was settled. They thought that the 1973 ruling settled this. We don't need to legislate it. It's covered. This is not going to be challenged. And obviously that was incorrect.
And that was wrong. But if you thought it was settled, I mean this respectfully, you weren't paying attention. I mean, you don't know the history of Roe, that even pro-abortion scholars have said that Roe was inherently unstable. But up until recently, they wouldn't have had the votes to legislate abortion rights. Now, as culture has changed, and again, politics is downstream from culture.
Like 8 years ago, they would have had it.
So here's Biden.
You would have had the vote because you had the House, you had the Senate, you had the White House.
Here's Biden in 2006. 2006, I have the audio. I do not view abortion as a choice and a right. I think it is always a tragedy. And I think it should be rare and safe. And I think we should be focused on how to limit the number of abortions. And they ought to be able to have a common ground and consensus to do that. That's more of a European approach. But again, I do not view abortion as a choice and a right. I think it is always a tragedy.
Are people not allowed to change how they view things like this?
They are. But do you understand what I'm saying to Kevin's point?
I mean, that was 2006. How many years ago was that? I can't do math, so you tell me.
I'm making Kevin's
16.
point. Or
Thanks,
my
Kevin.
point to Kevin is that they wouldn't have had the votes.
8 years ago, they did.
Well, they
You had
didn't
both
push
houses.
it forward.
You had both houses of Congress and the White House.
Then why didn't they push it forward?
I know it's my point.
Right.
The assumption was they wouldn't need to, so you prioritize other
I don't
things.
know.
Well, I mean, why else wouldn't you do it?
Because I don't think they thought they had the votes, honest to goodness. And again, as the culture is changing, where you're even having young Republicans become pro-choice, while this seems like a battle victory for the pro-life movement, I see it as a victory in a war that they will ultimately lose. I'm not trying to be, I know I'm not going to prognosticate here, but when you look at the culture and you look at the direction we're going, I see more and more states codifying abortion rights, and eventually I do see federal abortion rights codified.
The one thing that I would be concerned about for people is, and I don't know if this is an issue we're going to get into. Maybe with Sarah, we'll talk about this or get her thoughts on it. What will eventually happen in states where it's not legal, but you can cross the border and go to Illinois and get it done? I know Missouri, there is an attempt, or there has been an attempt in the past to sort of criminalize that.
So I think that's a really fair concern, and I would be concerned if I were in a state that did not allow abortion. Is it going to be criminalized to bring abortifacients across state lines? Is it criminalized to travel to get abortion? I think that's a valid concern. I really do.
Yep, it is. And I'm curious to see how a lot of states are going to handle it, or if they're going to be successful in it, because there is going to be a lot of pushback there.
It'll be fascinating. Not fun, but certainly an interesting time to be studying what happens next. We'll find out more. Obviously, we'll have more coming up a little bit later on with Sarah Isgur. It is the show on KMOX.
Parents, remember this website. Write it down, make a plan to visit. www.showmeschooloptions.org. Have you always wanted to send your child to private school? If they attend a public school district, or if they're coming in or just out of kindergarten, now may be your chance to receive up to $6,375 per child per year to apply towards private school tuition for this fall. But time is running out. The next school year is around the corner. Go to www.showmeschooloptions.org to learn more about Missouri's Scholars Program. It's new, it's free, it's a chance to invest in your child's future. The Missouri Scholars Program can be used for private school, homeschool, tutoring, therapy, and more. There's nothing more important you can do for your child's future this summer. Go to www.showmeschooloptions.org now. There could be $6,375 just waiting to be claimed. Tell your friends too. www.showmeschooloptions.org. Sign up and see. It's free. And who doesn't like free right about now?
Boy, the financial headlines are concerning. Runaway inflation, taxes going up, wild swings in the market, and maybe another recession. It's no wonder that 57% of people getting ready for retirement are worried. But what if I told you the secret to taking control of your financial future is right there at your fingertips? Yes, it's the phone that you're looking at right now. Call Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group. They're hosting an exclusive educational event on July 13th at St. Peter's Cultural Arts Center. They'll discuss topics like building more income and paying fewer taxes in retirement. The event is complimentary, but seats do fill up fast. Call today, 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC. The All Financial Group and Retirement Wealth Advisors are not affiliated. The All Financial Group is a financial services firm that offers a broad array of products and services, including life insurance and annuities, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
This is Corey with Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Shopping around for new HVAC systems is something nobody ever wants on their to-do list. So let's help make things easier with free estimates on new equipment, up to $2,150 on Carrier Cool Cash rebates, and 0% financing for up to 72 months. With over 50 years of award-winning service, you can trust Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling with your new system install. For details and to get in your comfort zone, contact Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer. The doctors' doctors. They've treated more doctors than any other practice in St. Louis.
Liberal extremists threaten us with a socialist nightmare, and fake conservative Mary Miller helps them do it. In Washington, Miller repeatedly voted with AOC and the Socialist Squad to weaken America. Siding with the radical left, Miller voted to defund our military, oppose fair pay for our troops, and against investigating Joe Biden's disgraceful Afghanistan exit. Miller even bragged about being the only Illinois Republican to stand with AOC and the Socialist Squad to undermine our military. And before Miller sided with liberal extremists against our troops, her family got rich at taxpayer expense, banking almost $1 million in government subsidies. We can't afford to let the socialist win. We can't afford fake conservative Mary Miller. Strong Leaders Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Strong Leaders Fund, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 1900 Campus Commons Drive, Suite 100, Reston, Virginia, 20191.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Well, if you've lived in St. Louis for a long time, you know that weather plays havoc on the outside of your home. And that's why Banner Construction specializes in the best James Hardy fiber cement siding and Pella replacement windows. When you refresh your home's exterior with Banner Construction, you'll not only optimize your curb appeal and market value, you'll have the best looking home in the neighborhood. James Hardy is unmatched for its weather resistance, its toughness, and its beauty. And as a preferred James Hardy contractor, Banner is basically a St. Louis institution. If you need to replace your windows, remember that Banner is also a Pella Platinum certified contractor. You'll get the optimum in installation and energy efficiency. Don't settle for less than the quality craftsmanship that you get from Banner Construction. 314-569-1050 and check out the beautiful videos of Banner craftsmanship at bannerconstruction.com.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces.
Also, bet you didn't know that Amco's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that Amco offers a nationwide warranty.
Amco offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at Amco.
That's Amco, AA, MCO.
Hey guys, Glover here for Svedka Vodka Soda. Go to the next level. Replace your go-to cocktail with Svedka Vodka Soda. Canned vodka cocktails made with real vodka, real juice, and sparkling water at 8% ABV. Visit svedka.com today. Go responsibly.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, 314-946-9999, 946, all nines. If you just inherited a property and you're not sure what you're going to do with it and you want an as-is sale, please reach out to us today. Especially with probate cases, we do a lot of work with the probate courts and we're very familiar with the confusing process. So if you have a house that you want to sell fast, maybe something that you just inherited, please reach out. Phone number is 314-946, all nines, ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN, 946-9999.
Hey guys, Glover here for Svedka Vodka Soda. Go to the next level. Replace your go-to cocktail with Svedka Vodka Soda. Canned vodka cocktails made with real vodka, real juice, and sparkling water at 8% ABV. Visit svedka.com today. Go responsibly.
CertaPro commercial painters have powers beyond those of ordinary painters.
Power of minimal disruption.
We work with you to ensure a smooth project,
The power of making you look good.
making sure it's done right, on time and within budget, so every property manager looks like a hero. That's CertaPro Painters.
The power of pro.
Get your project started at CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
The annual Swing for Kids golf tournament at Lake Forest Country Club is Monday, August 8th. Find out more information or register your team at communitylivingmo.org/golf.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 314-441-4444. Back to the show.
Yeah, the show!
With Amy, Chris, and Kevin on KMOX.
What is it? What's happened? What's going on? What do you know?
What just happened?
What happened?
I need to know.
Trending now on the show.
All right, trending is brought to you by Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Cottleville. That's right. That's the one I go to because I live out that way.
That's like
I was gonna say no. I was gonna say O'Fallon, but it's not really. It's right next to it.
Cottleville's kind of I've been there once. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's way out there.
Good pizza place there.
I mean,
It's
for
not.
me,
It's not.
For me, like I don't really like driving.
Some of you city dwellers are like, I can't go past a river.
No. City dwellers don't go west of 170.
That's right. That's
They're
right.
Like, wait, I have to go west of 170?
I mean,
Is there
that's
even
out there.
life out there?
Come on, it's like a different world.
Yeah.
I've my rule is I won't cross two rivers to come see you.
Yeah, it's one river.
Well, the
And you
Mississippi
still won't come
and
out
the
to
Missouri.
see me.
That's true. I won't.
Damn it, Raji.
I like you though.
I know that. I know
Yeah, I'll
that.
tell you what. Meet me halfway.
I will.
On the east side of 170.
Okay,
That's
let's go.
not halfway. One of my close friends said she loves me and would do anything for me except take a toll road to where I live.
Yep, I get
Apparently,
it.
that would end the friendship.
I get it.
So outside of what we've been talking about,
Oh,
the fallout
sorry.
from the weekend,
Yeah.
what's trending in your guys' world?
Okay, I've got
I'll start with one.
Oh, yeah, go.
Well, and we'll talk about it at 12:30, but Jack Flaherty leaving yesterday's start with shoulder problems is trending, and it's not a good trend either on Twitter or in his career. It's not a good trend.
It's not a good trend, and I'm going back to what Mr. Chris Ranji said. He does not like inflammation. I know it's not the same thing, but
I hate inflammation.
Who likes it?
Well, I always think it's a little more dangerous than you hear. You know, you're like, oh, it's just inflamed.
You don't like that?
When I hear inflammation,
Okay, so you
yeah.
I thought you meant like in your own, like, yeah, nobody likes inflammation. It's
No.
annoying and
When-
uncomfortable.
in baseball arm terms,
You just don't like hearing that
That's
from
right.
teams.
Yep. 'Cause-
It's always it's a broad strokes. It covers a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because inflammation comes with every injury. Something is generally not just inflammation, although
That's right.
it can be, though. It can be.
It can be, but I feel like in my experience, and this again, I don't have the numbers to back this up, but it sure as hell seems like every single time there is inflammation, there's something much, much worse underlying that we eventually find out about.
we're going to talk about this later. Here's my trending. Stan Kroenke becomes
No!
the
Oh,
first
wait!
sports team
Did
owner
not happen!
to win a Super Bowl and
Did
another
not
major pro sports
happen.
title
Did
in
not
any
happen.
given calendar year.
I do not acknowledge that.
The Avalanche won the Stanley
No,
Cup
they did
last
not.
night, Kevin.
They did
Fake
not.
And the
news.
Rams won the Super
Pat
Bowl.
Maroon and the Lightning won.
No, well, no.
They did.
This is a news station, Kevin.
This time of year, you might notice that the brick in your patio is going astray. Call Morelli. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan for Morelli Tuck Pointing, which has won every award possible in this industry, including the Better Business Bureau Torch Award, which is only given to companies with exceptional customer service. Morelli Tuck Pointing is the masonry specialist, serving St. Louis and beyond for 31 years. Morelli can do completely solid houses and buildings, spot pointing with color match, brick and stone repair, foundation repair, walkways, porches, patios, caulking, waterproofing solutions, and much more. Family owned and operated, and a lot of longtime employees that are like family. Call and request a free and quick estimate at 314-645-1387 or online at MorelliTuckPointing.com. And don't forget to check out their great reviews on the Google and Better Business Bureau websites. 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Getting coverage from the right health insurance shouldn't be complicated. Health Markets can help you search for a plan that fits your needs and budget with just a few clicks and questions. Health Markets scans and ranks insurance plans to find the right fit for you. Apply for whatever type of insurance you need: health, Medicare, dental, vision, life, and more. You can shop online at healthmarkets.com/easy or call one of our local licensed insurance agents by calling 833-833-5570. Take advantage of one-stop shopping to get free quotes and compare products from recognized insurance companies in your area. Get started today for free by visiting healthmarkets.com/easy or by calling 833-833-5570. That's healthmarkets.com/easy or call 833-833-5570. Health Markets Insurance Agency Incorporated is licensed as an insurance agency in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Service and product availability varies. Sales agents may be compensated based on enrollment.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
This is KMOX, the trusted voice of St. Louis. An Odyssey station.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, 314-946-9999, 946, all nines. If you just inherited a property and you're not sure what you're going to do with it and you want an as-is sale, please reach out to us today. Especially with probate cases, we do a lot of work with the probate courts and we're very familiar with the confusing process. So if you have a house that you want to sell fast, maybe something that you just inherited, please reach out. Phone number is 314-946, all nines, ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN, 946-9999.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
When you discover a new favorite bottle of Cabernet or bourbon at Total Wine, you'll discover a whole lot more. So explore the wondrous selection and totally low prices at TotalWine.com, where you'll love what you find. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly, B21.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's a sunny sky and 77 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. By a vote of 6-3, the Supreme Court has sided with a high school football coach who was suspended for praying on the field. CBS News White House correspondent Stephen Portnoy has more.
Justice Neil Gorsuch, writing for the conservative majority, says the Bremerton, Washington School District misconstrued the First Amendment, suppressing the coach's right to pray on the field out of concern he'd coerced students to follow his lead. Gorsuch's opinion calls that discrimination, saying Coach Joseph Kennedy's post-game prayer was private speech, not government speech. The court's 3 liberals dissented, saying the majority is now called into question decades of rulings eschewing government endorsement of religion.
President Joe Biden and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping are set to make contact in the next few weeks. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says China has been a topic of conversation among the G7 leaders.
We want to ensure that we're working with like-minded partners to hold China accountable to adhere to those rules. And that's the spirit and the message that I think will emerge both from Elmau and from Madrid.
A violent weekend in Chicago. 5 people killed and 22 others injured in shooting Sunday. The youngest victim to die was a 5-month-old baby girl. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
Another tough weekend, but what I don't want to get lost in the shuffle is that we are down 15% in shootings and 10% in homicides. But I think what this weekend underscores is that we are awash in illegal guns.
This weekend and July 4th. Fair St. Louis makes its return to downtown St. Louis, but not on the Arch grounds. Activities and vendors will be at Keener Plaza, concerts at Ballpark Village. Tim Mears is general chairman of the fair.
Just excited that this new footprint this year provides those offerings of multiple stages, a music-like festival downtown, and great food offerings.
Mears says there's an added attraction.
We're hosting the Gateway Legends Collegiate Invitational and High School Open. It's a national esports tournament. It actually runs from July 1st through the 3rd at Ballpark Village.
The fireworks display is one day on July 4th, and you can watch them from the Arch grounds. Who taught arguably the best hitter in baseball history?
Well, my father taught me the game, and I think just growing up in the Dominican Republic, being born and raised in there, that's the number one sport, baseball.
Cardinals legend Albert Pujols told KMOX's Tom Ackerman on Total Information AM his dad died at a young age, so his grandfather stepped up to the plate to help him further his skills. You can hear 5 Minutes with number 5 Mondays at 9:45 only on KMOX. And the Cardinals start a series with the struggling Marlins tonight at 6:45 on KMOX. The First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, State of the Economy.
The labor market remains strong, but cracks are emerging. In the past few weeks, companies have announced tens of thousands of job cuts and plans to freeze hiring. Most of the layoffs have been in technology, cryptocurrency, and real estate. And the combination of slowing consumer demand, sky-high inflation, and efforts by the Federal Reserve to keep raising interest rates is seeping into other sectors as well. Plus, more Americans are applying for unemployment benefits. Ann Cates, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel is up 44 points to 31,545. And we've got some debris on 44 West before Six Flags. It's got the right lane closed. A crash on 55 South before Imperial, Maine. Left lane is blocked. A stall 70 West past 141 on the right shoulder.
KMOX AccuWeather, a nice and sunny afternoon. The high getting up to 82, and then really comfortable sleeping night as skies are mainly clear, and we end up in the 50s, low 60s. Sunny, warm, not humid tomorrow, high 85, and then low 90s, hot, not that humid Wednesday, and then it gets warmer and more sticky Thursday and Friday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Right now, the sun's shining at 77 in Florissant, 78 in St. Peters, and 77 degrees. It feels like 77 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Total Wine and More. When you discover a new favorite bottle of Cabernet or bourbon at Total Wine, you'll discover a whole lot more. So explore the wondrous selection and totally low prices at TotalWine.com. We'll love what you find. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly, B21.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
11:05 on a Monday. It is the show on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler here. You can find us on the show, at the show on Twitter, at the show KMOX on Twitter. A lot of great links there where you can find, podcasts, different ways to listen. You can watch on Facebook.com/KMOX1120. You can text us at 314-436-7900. And, of course, voicemails welcome at 314-944-1120. And that is a line dedicated to this particular show. So if you want to send a message to DGS, don't send it to that number because I'm probably not going to forward it.
Oh, yeah. Somebody tried that over the weekend.
Oh, did they?
I think, or maybe on Friday. And I was like, well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's not the station's. It's just ours.
The voicemail did say, I know that's not what this is for, but I'm like, all right, well.
Probably not your
right,
best start to a voicemail.
If you know, I'm going to do it anyway. Okay.
I mean, if you're going to do it anyway, it better be damn good.
Yes.
If it's really good.
If it's good, you
might be okay.
It might work.
You might even be the creator of a segment or a topic.
Yeah.
If you're really good. But if you're just venting on something, probably don't do that.
I do like I know that this is not what this is for. It's the same thing as I don't want to be rude.
But everything before the word but is
irrelevant.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
heard that one, have you?
But, yeah.
Guys, you haven't tried to fly lately, have you?
Well, that's a great question.
Flapping my
Raj?
arms? No.
No,
that doesn't
no,
work.
Kevin.
That doesn't work.
We're not talking about what we talked about last hour, where we said if you dream it, you can do it.
You can do it.
Like, no, you can't flap your arms.
I can
and fly.
dream flying, so I can do it.
I'm
Disney said.
Talking about taking a major commercial airline flight somewhere.
Yeah, no, because I probably would get canceled.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Raj, because as everyone knows, I drove to Duluth, but I have an upcoming quick, like 24-hour trip to Nashville at the end of July. And I booked both of my flights for super early in the morning because all I know is among all of the canceled flights, you have a far higher chance of actually getting off the ground if you leave early in the morning. They don't cancel early morning flights nearly as often as midday.
Tell me why. Do you know why?
Well, my guess is when people wake up early, they're more motivated to get things done.
Well, no,
What? What in the what?
So this is obviously
I do my best work after 10 p.m.
It's obviously a multi-layered issue, right? Like problems can compound over the course of a day.
Right.
You know, if you have, say, a plane that needs mechanical attention. Well, if you don't
A
have enough
gasket.
mechanics
It blew a
at a
gasket.
certain airport, it might take longer to get somebody there. And this was a quote that I saw from a CBS News story that said, when you have normal things like airplane maintenance or weather or delays are a lot more severely felt, there are no reserved extra pilots, planes, or flight attendants. So if something goes wrong, it's the chain reaction as the day goes along. So initially, in the early parts of the day, it seems that things are less likely to get out of whack, out of schedule, all of that. And then as all of those things start to compound, that's when you're starting to get flights canceled.
As of 5 o'clock this morning.
And I'm still not getting on a 5 a.m. flight. Sorry.
No, absolutely
I'm
not.
taking the risk.
But as of 5 o'clock this morning, Central Time, there were 669 flights that had already been canceled for the day around the country.
Oof.
Yesterday, nearly 860 flights were canceled. Now, this isn't completely news because we have been told for weeks, expect a lot of cancellations over the summer. And obviously, you mentioned some of the reasons for it. Weather, we have been told, is going to be a problem. But the labor shortage really seems to be the biggest issue right now. They just don't have enough people. The FAA is facing tons of staffing shortages right now. So we are in a very bad place in terms of travel.
To fill in the blanks with specifics, I believe airlines are short 13,000 pilots.
And the flight cancellations,
13,000.
by the way, this is like 20% of flights a day. It's 1 in
That's
5.
a lot.
Well, they said
1 in 5.
That is a lot.
Yeah, 20,000 flights expected to be canceled this summer.
Yeah.
20,000. And think of this, 13,000 pilots short. Do you know how long it takes to get your commercial pilot's license? How many hours in the air you have to spend? So many pilots, commercial pilots, were former fighter jet pilots.
Mhm.
You know, they had those qualifications, they had those hours.
So what concerns me is airlines, if they're allowed to, and I don't know exactly what the federal law will allow them to, or if they'll alleviate some of those requirements, when they start to say, well, you don't need 10,000 hours anymore, we'll settle for 4. Like, I don't know what that threshold would be, but if they start to limit the requirements so it's not as difficult to get your license and get employed so that you can get up in the air and fly away a bunch of people, and maybe you're just not exactly qualified to fly that thing, because we have seen airlines in the past skirt rules whenever they can for other issues, and it costs lives. And I hope that we don't get to that point, but it's totally reasonable to expect we do move that direction.
Yeah.
Where they just start to lessen the rules and, you used to have to do all these things, but now you don't because we need bodies up there.
On the job training, no experience
Yeah.
necessary.
Yeah.
What's
I'd be
this
curious
button
to know,
do?
though, because right now the requirement is 1,500 miles in the air to be flying, with the commercial license to be
Wait,
a quote unquote.
That's not that can't be-
1,500?
That's not right.
Listen.
Miles or hours?
Did I say miles?
Yes, you said
Sorry,
miles,
hours.
which is like to
miles could be
Duluth
like
and
a
back.
few. Yeah, that could be a day. It just takes 1 day. 1 day is all it takes. No. Hours. So 1,500 hours to become. That's why 1,500? Why not 1,333? Why not 1,200? Why not 1,700? Like, I think that there probably is some wiggle there.
Well,
I mean, some people are ready at 1,200. Others might not be ready at 1,500.
because in that extra 170, that's when you learn to land it.
Oh, is that what
Yeah,
it is?
you
You need
probably-
the last 170 to
Yeah,
learn how
you-
to get the plane on the ground?
Well, yeah.
Two things. If turning your camera on were a requirement for being a commercial pilot, Kevin would not pass that test.
No.
Also,
Turn your camera on, Kevin.
My mom has always felt very strongly that she doesn't want to see the pilot. You know how when the pilot drags his little
bag,
carry-on?
his little carry-on roller bag.
My mom does not want to see the pilot. She said it makes it feel too real. The human element's there. She's like, when you just get on a plane, you don't see the pilot. the door to the cockpit is closed, you kind of feel like you're in this magic machine where nothing could go wrong, like being in a taxi cab without a seatbelt. For some reason, that's okay. But once you see the pilot, she said it feels too real to her.
Seinfeld had a great joke about the taxi cab. You know, they have the little window, and he's like, it's very dangerous. And you see the cab do dangerous stuff, and you're looking through this little window like you're watching on TV, and you don't realize you are in danger. And you look to the person next to you, go, wow, that looked unsafe. You know, like I see where she's coming from. You just kind of
know.
The one thing you don't want sometimes is maybe see a guy who looks like he's 21. Which doesn't really happen for a commercial pilot because you have to have a lot of experience. But the younger they are, I can see, like, if you're an older person, if you're in your 60s and you see somebody who's like,
or if you're almost 50 and look older,
or like us, you would probably feel like, oh man, this guy.
This is why dress codes matter as well. I've never seen a disheveled looking pilot. They always look very put together.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah, and
unless they're leaving the bar.
And their little, their little, pilot outfits or whatever. They just look very put together. If they loosened the dress code for pilots so that you could wear Birkenstocks and jeans, I would not feel that
Those are
safe.
not functional.
I would get on a plane if the dude was flying. The Big Lebowski.
Really?
Yeah.
With his because
if you look like that and you're in there, that means you're damn good.
Yeah, you must be really good. That's a good point.
Really good.
Yeah.
Guy Fieri could get on a plane and you would trust that
Yes.
plane.
Not
if he
him
was
personally,
flying
but
it.
a dude that looked like it. Yes.
Yeah, because if you had a
you're
bunch
that
of
good,
like face tattoos, and he's on that flight, that must mean he's awesome because they're
That's a
like,
bad
hey,
man.
we're overlooking the face
Yeah,
tattoos
you must
because
be
you're
good.
so good at this job.
Yeah.
This is a serious question, and I hope there's a pilot listening. So if you can text in or let me know, 314-436-7900. There are so many knobs and buttons and levers in a commercial plane. Do you think there's a pilot who gets into one and like there's a knob that he really doesn't know what it does?
Please, this is a great
I
question.
have to know, like, there's like, I don't know what that thing does.
I mean, is there stuff
but I
in
know
your
all
car
these
that
other
you don't know?
Yeah, I just learned how to use cruise control.
What? Amy, do not apply for a commercial pilot license.
I learned a year and a half ago driving to Colorado because I, had to like keep my foot on the gas through Kansas. And my friend taught me how to use cruise control for the first time in my whole life.
I will say my calculus on like road trip versus flying has always kind of been like if the drive is more than 8 hours, then I want to fly. But if it's less and I add up the total time and all of that compared to the cost, I'd almost rather drive and have more control of the situation. Because if it's going to be, let's say it's going to be 8 hours in the car. I mean, if I'm taking just a 2-hour flight, you're looking at an hour and a half before the flight, then potential for delays. You're looking at least another hour and a half on the other end of the flight. You're already at a 5-6 hour day. And then you take into account the cost, which is different driving now because gas is a lot more expensive than it used to be. We're just looking at this now. I'm making a trip in August to visit family, and we were going to fly, and I'm seeing all these cancellations. I'm like, nope, we're driving. Because then I don't even have to worry about it. I don't have to have my vacation completely derailed, standing at the airport with my phone out and my ticket, and they're like, no, sir, this flight has been canceled. Now you have to wait a day or two and ruin everything. I'm just going to drive, and I'm going to get there in 7.5 hours, and I'm okay with that.
All right. If you are a pilot and you maybe don't know all the functions.
there has to be
First of
one
all,
button,
of the
one
cockpit.
lever where you're just like, I have no idea what
idea.
that does.
I can't even believe when we heard Amy's answer. Is there anything in your car that you don't understand or how to use?
Well, I just figured out probably 2 years ago that on the dashboard where the little gas tank symbol is, there's an arrow. And the arrow points to the side of your car. The gas tank is on. I didn't know that.
This is why we are not pilots.
Right.
Is that why?
Nobody ever
That's
taught
one
me
of the
that.
reasons why we're not very observant. Have you ever done that? You're like looking out the mirror. You're like, which side is that stupid thing on? I can't see it.
I do it all the time. But now I know.
90% of the time, I don't remember how I got home. Do you know what I mean? Just like driving. And you're like, you don't remember the drive.
Oh, I thought you meant like partying.
I thought she meant it being intoxicated. Like, that's not good.
I didn't know you went that hard, Amy. I didn't know you played that game.
I live a double life here. Okay, if you are a pilot with any comment, 314-436-7900. You can call or text or leave a voicemail anytime at 314-944-1120.
All right, this is the show on KMOX. Amy Marks, Chris Prodigy, Kevin Wheeler with you here on a Monday on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Hi, guys, it's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
Whether you're looking to fill low spots in your lawn, backfill that new retaining wall, or mulch your trees and flower beds, St. Louis Composting has the compost, soil, or mulch you need to help your plants and garden look its very best. Visit our website, stlcompost.com, for more information.
Wondering if market volatility is the new normal? Are you looking to validate the financial decisions you've made? Or find out if there's anything else you could be doing? A conversation with an Edelman Financial Engine's wealth planner may give you peace of mind, no matter what's affecting the market. You'll get a valuable expert second opinion and a fresh perspective on your wealth planning. And you'll get insight into other opportunities available to you. Call Edelman Financial Engines now at 833-PLAN-EFE or visit EdelmanFinancialEngines.com for your complimentary retirement review and financial plan. That's 833-PLAN-EFE. Call by Tuesday at 10 p.m. and take advantage of this limited time offer. An $800 value, free. That's 833-PLAN-EFE. Or visit EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. You didn't come this far to only come this far.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan for Ophthalmology Associates. You know, about 25 years ago, I turned my eye care over to Ophthalmology Associates, and since then, I've never thought of going anywhere else. Dr. Greg Birdie has guided me through LASIK surgery and the treatment of dry eye. He cares about me and my eyesight and is always looking out for my best interests, and he does the same thing for my wife and kids and sister. He's not only my doctor, but also a good friend. And you know, Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, and Royer are known as the doctor's doctors because these four have treated more doctors than any other practice in St. Louis. That's why they're known as the doctor's doctors. To schedule an appointment today, you need to call the doctor's doctors at 314-966-5000, or you can get more information at youridoc.com. Cataracts, glaucoma, dry eye, poor vision. Don't procrastinate. Call the doctor's doctors today at 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Energy prices are at all-time high. If your air conditioners are working right now, here's what I tell all my customers. You guys are important to me, truly important to me. Someday you will need a new furnace and air conditioner. You will. And if I lie to you now, you'll never call me. If I tell you the truth now, 10 years from now, you'll call me. You do not need to replace your air conditioner because the energy prices are so high. Do not think for a second that I could sell you a $20,000 or $15,000 air conditioner and it's in your best interest. It is truly not in your best interest. If your air conditioner breaks or it's broken, or if somebody says you need something, you need a new one, talk to them, then call me. Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Call the right number, call the right company. It's Bart Inman, 314, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman. That's 314-293-2600. Missouri and Illinois. You know how to do that, Andrew, with the Missouri and Illinois thing. Or BartInman.com. That's BartBinman.com.
Connect with KMOX on air, online, 1120 AM, 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
All right, so we got a couple of answers on the text line to the questions that we were throwing out there. I should say that Amy and Chris threw out there because I didn't have any part in this. Even though
It's a good question.
It's a
no,
great
it's an
question.
insulting question.
It is an insulting.
If you're
Yeah,
a
it is.
pilot, if I were a pilot, I would be insulted by the question, do you know what the buttons in the cockpit do?
All
Yeah,
of them.
I would-
No. I didn't say buttons. Do you know what all of the buttons? There are like 300 buttons at least in
if
there.
I were a trained
It's
professional,
like 1,000 buttons.
if I were a pilot, I would be insulted by that question. And we got a couple of answers.
Okay, can I just say
on this.
I'm not a pilot and I'm insulted by the question.
And you asked it. All right.
I asked it.
So we got a text that says, so I'm a private pilot and I've been a flight attendant. Trust me, if the pilot has passed a check ride on that plane, he knows what every button or switch does. The guy that gave, and this is signed, the guy that gave Amy the call sign Roadrunner. So this is our texter that gave you the call sign Roadrunner. So obviously
there,
this is a
texter.
smart person.
I know.
Prove it.
Roadrunner is great. I've passed that nickname has passed muster with my friends as well.
And we got a text that says, right. A real pilot's going to call in and say that they don't know all the buttons. Are you kidding me? Maybe next you can ask a surgeon if they don't know all their instruments. Yes, I did not send that text in, but I co-signed that text. What kind of question is that?
I didn't ask you to give your name. Yeah,
That'd be like you.
I'm Ted. I fly for Southwest.
Hi, I'm a professional pilot, and I don't know the buttons.
Yeah, I don't know what this one button does.
Tell me
but
about the rabbits.
I just don't ever touch it.
What? Of
I mean,
course
come
they
on.
know
There's
what
a-
they do.
Then why didn't you say that when I asked the question last
I
segment?
did.
Now you're just now
No,
you're just
I did.
no
I said,
no you didn't
yes,
know.
I was making fun of you. Like,
No, you weren't.
do you not know what's in your
Okay.
car?
To be fair, I don't know how to use all the features in my car. I also am in radio, and I have no idea how to work anything in the studio. That's why I bring my own laptop.
Yes, but you're never asked to do that. The pilot flies the plane every day.
Now,
Every day.
if I'm not mistaken,
Now, if we were to go to Dave here and say, Dave, do you know how to push all those buttons on there? And he said, I don't know what 6 of them do. That'd be a problem.
There's probably a few buttons.
There's
that you don't know
a
how to
few
do.
buttons on this board I don't know what
Then
they
we
do.
have a problem. Thank God we're anchored to the earth and can't die from this.
see,
Okay, what were you gonna say?
if I'm not mistaken, the Malaysian flight that crashed, there was a safety feature on the plane that the pilots didn't know exactly how it worked. And it happened twice. Remember, there were the 2 flights that crashed within a very short time period. And it was something like the pilots were not properly trained on it. So is it totally unreasonable to think
Yes.
that one of the... No, it's not. If they
Yes.
don't know how a safety feature works that ended up crashing the flights, it's possible that one of those million buttons in the cockpit is something they don't know about.
Can I tell you? And this isn't. There are so many reasons why I'm not a pilot and would not be a good pilot. But when I buy a car and you're driving around with the little sales guy, and he's telling
The little sales guy. Oh, my God.
well, you know what I mean? Just like the sales guy is there, and you're driving around, and he's telling you everything that the car does and all the features. Can I tell you that in that moment, I am thinking about a million other things. None
Yep.
of them are about what he's saying.
Right.
They always lose me. I can't focus on that part.
Hopefully you didn't do that during driver's training when they were teaching you how to drive.
Well,
Because that's what the pilots are learning. They're learning how to fly and how to not crash.
yeah. No, well, my dad and mom taught me how to drive
Right. But you didn't treat it that way, I hope.
because they're teaching you how to drive. They're not teaching you what all the buttons do.
Right. But
As long as you know what the main buttons do.
the main buttons. Yeah, they just put superfluous buttons in cockpits.
You can get by.
Yeah, they don't really need these
Figure out
buttons
the
and-
rest.
They don't need these buttons and lights.
Okay.
We're just going to put extras in here because it looks good in pictures.
Listen, I agree. It's a stupid question. But that's if you're afraid to ask the stupid questions, you will inevitably miss a good question.
Well,
And one day Chris will
Who
ask a
said
good
that?
question.
Well, I did ask a good question, and we got an answer from a pilot and a flight attendant who says they are sometimes a private pilot. So, okay. I mean, if this flight attendant thinks that all the pilots know all the buttons, then I have to take that at their word. Unless somebody else texts in and says, actually,
I don't know all the buttons on my toaster. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I mean, there's only like 2
How
of
many
them.
buttons does your toaster have?
I don't know.
You do
Mine
seem
has-
like the kind of person
mine
that
has
would have a complicated toaster.
Mine has a dial and a little thing you push down.
Yeah.
Like
a lever.
doneness, and then
Yeah. Anyway, if I bought the toaster at Target and didn't want it anymore,
You could get your money back and
we
keep it.
Yeah, we should talk about that.
Okay.
When we have some time, because that is a great story. Because apparently,
tease it for everybody.
Apparently, they're talking. Some of these larger stores are talking about allowing you to return something,
Okay.
but not actually return it.
Like you get your money back, but you keep the thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that is very interesting to me because I just talked to a friend of mine over the weekend who bought he bought something online, and he's had it for several years, and he totally gamed the system and ended up getting the thing for free, and I was appalled by what he did.
My friend got a couch that way. Now she has 2 couches.
Free couch?
She didn't. The couch was slightly damaged, and the company said, "Don't worry about it. We'll send you another couch." Now she has 2.
Yeah, we need to talk about this.
Yes, we do.
Because I think this is so fascinating.
But we've got Sarah Isger next.
World, national, and local news. Traffic information for your morning commute with Roger Brand. Weather from meteorologist Dean DeVore. I'm Debbie Monterey. Join me and the whole KMOX morning team beginning at 5 a.m. for Total Information AM on KMOX.
Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay
20%. And with Rocket Mortgage, you could unlock thousands in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up. So when you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 833-8ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started. Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or crawfordbutts.com.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
At 11:30, it's sunny and 77 degrees downtown at the Arch. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of a former high school football coach who sued his Washington State School District when it told him to stop praying with students after games. Lawyer for Bremerton School District, Richard Caskey, defended how the district responded.
The school district here did just the right thing to respect and protect the rights of the kids and their parents.
Illinois Congressman Rodney Davis plans a news conference later today in Springfield, Illinois, after comments by opponent Mary Miller at a rally with Donald Trump, calling the Supreme Court abortion decision a victory for white life. A spokesman for Miller says she meant to say right to life, but Davis says, quote, whether it's catering to the extremes, praising Adolf Hitler, having a convicted child sex offender serve as her personal driver, and now these comments, Miller has demonstrated she is not fit for public office, end quote. Davis and Miller are running against each other in tomorrow's Republican primary. His comments will come at 3:30 today. We've got a stalled vehicle 70 east before 141. The right lane is closed. Also 70 west past 141, the right shoulder. Debris on 44 west before Six Flags, the right lane closed. And the forecast for this afternoon, high of 82 degrees. Tonight, patchy clouds. Comfortable weather for sleeping with a low 63 in the city, upper 50s in the outlying areas. And for tomorrow, not as humid in the afternoon with a high of 85. It's 77 degrees now downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Mosby Building Arts. Ugly bathrooms, dated bathrooms, so less century bathrooms. It makes me feel sad, bathrooms. If it's time to spruce up your bathroom, trust Mosby Building Arts for exceptional results. Visit callmosby.com for bathroom inspiration.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? How would you like the potential to participate in credited interest from market index returns and limit the downside? Join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio. You can also call me now for your complimentary Retirement and Income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233.
Thanks for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is Sarah. How can I help?
I want to hear that sound again.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
That's the sound?
That's the sound of the room getting bigger.
And cleaner.
And happier.
I love a happy room.
Is there anything else we can do for you?
I'd like you to come to my house right before we go on vacation.
You want to come home to a big, clean, happy house.
There's nothing better than that.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Hi there, it's John Hancock for First Mid Bank and Trust. They're a community-focused organization. They put so much money back into the communities where they serve. They've been around for 157 years. If you're looking for a bank, check them out. They got 19 locations here in the greater St. Louis area. Plenty of small business professionals to work with. They got insurance experts. Whether you're saving for your first home, paying off debt, or planning for retirement, First Mid Bank is the place for you. Go check them out online, firstmid.com. You'll be glad you did.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
It's the Cards and Marlins tonight. Ameren pregame show 5:50. First pitch 6:45 on KMOX and streaming on KMOX.com.
It's 11:34 on the show here on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks, course, and Kevin Wheeler with you on a Monday.
And so much news coming out of the Supreme Court, including more decisions today, which included the football coach who was praying on the field. The Supreme Court ruled 6-3 in favor of Coach Kennedy. And to talk more about that, as well as the overturning of Roe v. Wade, is Sarah Isgur. She's a contributor to ABC, Politico, and The Dispatch. And she's a friend of the show. Sarah, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
We've got a million questions for you, but let's start with Kennedy, the coach who was praying on the football field, and the Supreme Court's 6-3 decision in his favor.
Yeah, so this is, as you said, a football coach for a high school who had been praying with his players in the locker room at the 50-yard line. The school didn't know about it. They find out and they say, you need to cut this out. And from that point forward, he stops praying with his players, stops the locker room stuff entirely, but then he wants to go out and just give a silent personal prayer on the third line. As you said, it's a 6-3 decision with the majority saying that this is a free exercise and a free speech case. But Justice Kavanaugh didn't join part of the opinion. Justice Alito and Justice Thomas both write separate concurrences. And without getting too far into the weeds, what basically all of those mean together is this is pretty fact specific to this specific coach praying on the 50-yard line. And you actually have the three dissenting justices have a really different recitation of the facts in this case, making me think that in a future case, it's going to really matter on the facts. And this case may not have a whole lot of precedential value.
Okay, I'm glad you clarified that. I did see some people afraid that this was a blow for the separation of church and state, and you're saying not necessarily.
The only thing that the majority held was that a school employee is entitled to some religious practice in their personal time. So, for instance, if you're allowing teachers to call and make restaurant reservations during school hours or, give a little prayer before they eat their lunch in the school cafeteria, what they're saying is that this guy, what he's doing is no different than that. And so that's why it's allowed. You can't prevent a school employee from wearing a yarmulke just because students are going to see the yarmulke and know that it's religious. But what they didn't, and what I think some people on the right wanted them to say was, no, you are welcome to pray. Your students can come join you. There's no coercive problem there. That's not what the court said today.
It's interesting to me because having lived my life in the sports world, Sarah, I've seen it all. I mean, I went to Catholic schools, so the pregame prayer was not an unusual thing. But again, it's not a public school, not a public institution. What I found was really interesting here was I'm almost, maybe I'm wrong for this, but I was almost surprised that this case rose to this level. Am I wrong for that? Because it doesn't feel like there was a whole lot here that was super, I don't want to say important, but over the top with what the coach was doing.
Yeah, I think this is sometimes the Supreme Court takes cases thinking they're taking one type of case where they can make sort of sweeping decisions, and then they find out when they actually get into the case that the facts are kind of messy, the procedural part's kind of messy. When that gets too far past what they wanted to do, they'll do something called digging the case, dismissed as improvidently granted. They didn't do that with this case, but clearly narrowed it to its facts. Normally, you don't see the Supreme Court taking a case just to reverse one case for one person who, had it wrong. But you definitely see the coach being pretty unwilling to negotiate with the school, and you see the school being pretty unwilling to negotiate with the coach. This, to me, in the end, if you really break down the record, like an employment than anything else.
So moving on to what has been obviously the story of the day. It's one of the great stories of the last year, really, and it's going to resonate for a long time. Your thoughts initially on the decision the Supreme Court had on Roe v. Wade?
I mean, I think people across the board have really sincerely held beliefs on this topic. And the question for the court was, does the Constitution speak to it? If the Constitution doesn't have anything to say about abortion, do you leave a case like Roe v. Wade in place because it's been in place for 50 years and people have come to believe that they do have a constitutional right, even if they're mistaken in that belief, even if the Supreme Court was mistaken in that belief 50 years ago? And so that's the analysis they go through. And they say, no, there is clearly no constitutional right to an abortion. Think of the Constitution like a contract. And when voters ratified the Constitution back in 1791, they were agreeing to a very specific contract. For the most part, the contract said, we're going to vote on everything. And the only things we're not going to vote on are these very specific enumerated rights, like those in the Bill of Rights, for instance, free speech, freedom of religion. And then there might be a few things that we're not including in the Bill of Rights that we have rights to anyway. Think of like the right to travel. You can travel over a state line, and they can't tell you can't. That's an unenumerated constitutional right. When you look back at 1791, it's pretty clear from the historical record that abortion was not one of those rights they were trying to enshrine in the Constitution. They didn't write it down like the right to travel. There was no right to have an abortion. Plenty of states outlawed it at various points. And so that just means there wasn't any fundamental right to that. Okay, but that still leaves us with the question, fine. But the Supreme Court said 50 years ago that there was to it. Relied on that for 50. And so should we overturn a case just because it's wrong? They don't always overturn cases because they're wrong. Sometimes they just cabin them to their facts. Sometimes they leave them in place and say, well, we're kind of stuck with it now. In this case, they said there wasn't a reliance interest that for the Mississippi law that was a 15-week ban, that the difference between 15 weeks and 24 weeks, which is what Roe had protected, that 9-week reliance in a woman's pregnancy wasn't enough. And so they overturned Roe v. Wade, which obviously a lot of people find shocking. It means that now voters get to decide this question. And so for all of these people marching in a lot of these states, like Illinois or New York, they've already voted on it. They have protected that right to abortion. And the question now is, do they trust women in these other states to vote on that right? Women make up a majority of voters. And so let's see what they say.
Sarah, we're in Missouri that had a trigger law that made abortion illegal immediately on the overturning of Roe. So it's very real here in Missouri, the consequences of that decision. And then when you read Thomas's concurring opinion, and he brings up Lawrence and Obergefell, what do you make of his opinion? Because I know a lot of people are concerned that this could lead to overturning gay marriage.
Yep, and I think it's a completely valid concern because if you're looking back to 1791, obviously there wasn't a right to gay marriage. And how the reach those decisions is something called substantive due process, which Justice Thomas was saying is an oxymoron. Process is process. It can't be substantive. And so he's saying you need to go back and look at all these other cases that were decided under this, metric of substantive due process, gay marriage, the right to contraception, striking down laws against homosexual conduct. And he's like, all of those cases are wrong under the Constitution. That's what Justice Thomas says. One vote, nobody joined him. Justice Alito says those cases are all really different because of that reliance interest I mentioned. Think of the millions of people who have gotten married after Obergefell. You can't then just undo their marriages. That's the very definition of a reliance interest. Justice Kavanaugh also saying in his concurrence, these cases, meaning Obergefell, Griswold, Lawrence, are not in doubt, he says. And the reason that that's significant is because Justice Kavanaugh has been in the majority more than any other justice on the court in this current iteration of 9 justices, meaning he is the 5th vote. You can't get to 5 without Justice Kavanaugh. He's not revisiting them. And if you force his hand, he's definitely going to vote to uphold them under.
What about the concerns people have that birth control might be on the table, or Plan B might be on the table, or what happens to women who travel across a state line to get an abortion procedure done?
So Justice Kavanaugh actually addressed some of that. For instance, he said there are other constitutional rights that might come into play here. For instance, that right to travel. You have a right to travel across state lines. And so he says if a state tries to make a law like that, they'd be violating a different constitutional right, that right to travel. So he says those aren't going to be actual concerns because you can't do that. On the Griswold, that's the birth control question. That's that reliance interest point. I think people have an interesting argument there that is different than gay marriage. There aren't millions of people who, are saying that their whole lives revolve around birth control. But I think it is different than the abortion reliance interest because people have gotten vasectomies, have gotten married, understanding that they're going to be able to take birth control. And so I think the reliance interest is stronger. Certainly Justice Alito said so. Justice Kavanaugh said so. In terms of banning medication-based abortions, some states have moved to ban the interstate transport of that into their state, like Louisiana. The Department of Justice says they're going to sue about that because it's FDA approved. Interesting lawsuit. Definitely going to be the next case at the Supreme Court.
Sarah, a little bigger picture. I really enjoyed your opinion piece for Politico that you retweeted about yesterday relating to amendments to the Constitution and that we need to make it easier. And I know that's a vast oversimplification, but what do you think about the amendment process and what can we do to maybe mainstream it for 2022 as opposed to looking at this the way it was a couple hundred years ago?
Yeah, that's right. So the contract that I mentioned in the Constitution, when they ratified that and they voted to accept that contract, they said, here are the only things we're accepting right now. Most of the things are majoritarian. There's a few counter-majoritarian things that are protected from majority vote. And if you don't like any of this, or if we've made a mistake, here's how you amend the contract. The problem is that amending the contract, as we all know, is really hard. Justice Scalia, when asked the number one thing he would change in the U.S. Constitution, he said make amending it easier. Not easy, but easier. Justice Breyer agrees with him. I would hazard to guess that probably a majority of the Supreme Court thinks it should be easier because what happens instead is that when the political don't act on something, and by that I mean Congress doesn't pass any laws. We know they're very good at not doing that. And then the president tries to act on his own when he has no constitutional authority to do so, that then it falls to the Supreme Court to kind of fix the Constitution, when in fact it should just be done through amendment. And I think that a lot of the justices feel that very, very uniquely. However, like the thing we can't agree on is, okay, but then what does easier mean? Right now, 3/4 of the states have to ratify an amendment. You saw with the Equal Rights Amendment, for instance, they came up too short. So is the question that we lower it by maybe 2 states? Or is it that maybe you don't need 2/3 of both houses of Congress to pass it in order to go to the states? I don't have a great answer for that, but I know it's too hard right now because when we're talking about something like abortion, people scoff when you say, well, look, it's not a constitutional right, but we can amend the Constitution. If you think that that is a position that is so popular that it needs to be added, just amend the Constitution. And they'll laugh and say it's impossible to amend the Constitution. I think that's a shame.
She is Sarah Isgur, a political and legal analyst and contributor for ABC, Politico, The Dispatch. You can find her on the Dispatch podcast as well as the Advisory Opinions podcast. And Sarah, I know this is a very busy time for you right now following the Supreme Court, so we really appreciate you joining us today.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
And you can find Sarah on Twitter, by the way. One of the best Twitter names I've seen in a while.
Yep.
At Wig Newtons.
Wig Newtons.
Wig, not like the hat, but like the political party, WHIG, at Wig Newtons.
She's awesome.
Good stuff. And a really good thread, by the way, about the amendments, if you want to look into it more, available for you right there.
What are you reading?
About Gary Rabine, the Republican candidate for governor. I really like him.
What about those other guys spending all that money on TV?
If their ads indicate how they'll run Illinois, forget them. Gary Rabine cares about the real issues: crime, corruption, the culture war, and taxes.
I'm Gary Rabine. I can and will beat Pritzker. Let's turn Illinois around. It's Rabine time.
Paid for by Rabine for governor.
Caring for residents for over a century, Manor Grove is committed to making everyone feel at home. Choosing a home for your loved one to reside is an important decision and shouldn't be taken lightly. Manor Grove makes your decision easy with medical professionals and staff who care for residents like family. If you are looking for a caring and quality nursing home and rehab facility, please visit our website, manorgrove.com, and take our virtual tour. Manor Grove, over a century of caring. Welcome home to Manor Grove.
If you filed a tax extension in April, don't wait until it's too late to handle your tax issues. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. Every year, thousands of Missourians file extensions when their taxes are due in April. But what people don't know is the extension only moves your deadline to file your return, not to pay your taxes. So if you didn't pay anything back in April, you could now owe taxes plus interest plus penalties. You think you bought yourself time, but really you've just added to the total bill. If this sounds like you, call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I am a local tax attorney with an A+ BBB rating, and I will meet with you right away to help handle your tax problems quickly. The deadline to file your return after an extension has already passed, so call the Lance Drury Law Firm now before it's too late. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. Don't buy plastic toys for your pet. Instead, look for natural materials like cotton, rope, wood, or bamboo. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
CertaPro painters have powers beyond those of ordinary painters.
The power of precision.
That's the power of a skilled local team who know what they're doing.
The power of accurate estimates.
Estimates, not guesstimates.
The power of certainty.
CertaPro painters. That's the power of pro. Get your project started at CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
OMG, guess what? What? I just heard that our two favorite things are coming to Busch Stadium this month. Harrison Bader, Abby, and boy bands? Yes, Friday, July 8th is boy band night, and with the purchase of a special theme ticket, we can take home a really cute Cardinals boy band t-shirt. It reminds me of one of our faves. This is literally amazing. Plus, there's a pregame concert by the Boy Band Night Band. We better get our tickets now. Get yours at cardinals.com/theme.
When you dress to impress, you gotta bring a strong sock game. When the Cardinals host the Phillies on Friday, July 8th, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will take home a pair of specially designed Yachty and Wayno socks, highlighting the historic Cardinals duo. That's Friday, July 8th, the Cardinals, the Phillies, and the Yachty Wayno socks. Great seats remain. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. Yes, I've used the services of Banner Construction now 6 times on 2 different homes. One of the safest investments you can make today is an exterior renovation to your home. And Banner Homes have timeless beauty, striking curb appeal, and ultra-low maintenance. If you take pride in your home, trust it to the team of experts at Banner Construction. If you're looking for windows, you should know that Banner is a James Hardie Elite Preferred Contractor. James Hardie Fiber Cement Siding has the rich look and feel of wood. And Banner is also a platinum certified Pella window contractor. Those Pella windows are beautiful and they come with a 30-year warranty. Since 1993, my friends at Banner have engineered their projects to go beyond the basic low-cost solutions. That's more than 25 years of experience. And now is the perfect time to plan for this important project and do what the Brennans do. Call on the experts at Banner. They're ready to help. Call 314-569-1050 or bannerconstruction.com. See the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates, experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. Call for an appointment. 314-966-5000.
Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
Make a difference in the lives of people with disabilities. Become a direct support professional at Community Living, starting at $18 an hour. Go to communitylivingmo.org/careers.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. More Amy, more Kevin, more Chris. What is this weird show? The Show on KMOX.
$11:53 on the show on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Marskors, Kevin Wheeler with you here. All right, so which one of you two goofballs said we wanted to talk about toilets?
Me.
Oh, Amy's been talking about toilets for weeks now.
What in the world?
I don't know.
Well, okay, first of all, it wasn't weeks because this conversation happened over the weekend. My dad was hosting some work clients, and they stayed at the very lovely Seven Gables Inn in Clayton, owned by Amy and Amrit Gill. And apparently, the toilets at the Seven Gables Inn are life-changing. They're bidet-esque, but they're not a separate toilet like bidets are. You know, it's like the toilet and then the bidet. This is one toilet. It's got heated seats. It has the water like the bidet would have, and I guess you pick which angle you want, and then it has a dryer. And apparently the talk of the weekend were these toilets. They were life-changing toilets.
I mean, I'm a fan of toilet humor. I don't think I've ever had a legitimate, honest, like rational discussion about a toilet being life-changing.
Everyone who uses bidets says they're life-changing. I've never used a bidet.
I totally agree with it. It's great.
Is it?
It's really great.
Is it life-changing?
Well, yeah. I mean, because you change how clean you get, which is a pretty big deal, I think.
Are people not clean?
I know. That's what I was saying.
Yes, people are not clean.
I don't think I've ever thought, didn't do a good enough job there.
Yeah. Well, I think there are people who are
once.
not clean, and this would go a long way to help that. But also, there's a peace of mind.
Yeah, well, because, everybody can have a $3,000 toilet.
Well, I mean, you can buy like a $20 Amazon.
Yeah, you can install a device that acts as a bidet, and you put it in your toilet.
I don't understand how it doesn't splash.
I don't either.
I mean, I feel like if you don't aim right, you know, maybe you don't have a lot of spatial awareness. I don't. And
well, that's true.
It hits a butt cheek and then splashes.
Nah, it's I don't know. I think it just knows.
It just knows.
I think it just knows.
It just knows.
It knows where to go.
It's a smart bidet.
Yeah.
Well, one of the guys was international, and he said, "Oh my gosh, we use these in Japan," and he had one installed in his house and loves it.
I've stayed in hotels that had them, and I looked at them and I said, nope.
I just don't know.
Why?
I don't know. Just seems like step too far.
Oh no, it's the. I don't think we take enough steps in that direction. We're like one of the only developed countries that doesn't use them.
This is like on Seinfeld when George comes out of the bathroom tucking in his shirt or buttoning his shirt. And they're like, why did you take your shirt off in the bathroom? I feel like a bidet is like taking a shower after you go to the bathroom.
It's, I mean, there's a similar concept there. Yeah. I agree. I don't think
Now, if you could show me, because we mentioned this story to Debbie Monterey, who's a very intelligent person. And she mentioned, hey, listen, this could lead to less toilet paper usage. If you could tell me, hey, this is a good thing for the world, or this is more efficient, or it'll save money, or it'll save trees, or whatever, I'm like, all right, you know what? For a good purpose, yes, I could do that.
I don't know how much water it takes.
But that's the problem, though, is you got water now that you got to,
and we might have a water shortage at some point.
That's
but
what I'm saying.
do they have to use water to make toilet paper? I don't know.
Do.
Okay, I wonder, would we save the water to not have to make the toilet paper if we just use bidets? I don't know. I don't know the numbers on that.
Show me the data.
I need data on it.
Otherwise,
The bidet.
hard pass. Yeah, the bideta. Dang,
Oh,
Amy.
God.
Home values are through the roof, with buyers paying way over asking price. You'd love to cash out your home's equity, but you're not quite ready to move, and soaring interest rates make cash out refinancing too expensive. Plus, you'll only get a fraction of your home's equity. It makes no sense. I have a smarter option, Truehold.com. Truehold will buy your home for full cash value, and here's the best part. You get to bank all the cash now and continue living in your home as long as you want. It's life-changing, and Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance, too. Let's review. Truehold pays you 100% of your home's value in cash fast. Use your cash to do everything you've dreamed of: travel, pay off debt, or buy that new right-size home on the golf course. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com for the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's full value without having to move. 855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
I tend to second-guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. An Odyssey station.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling, here to tell you about an organization that is near and dear to our company and one we've been proud to sponsor, Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight flies World War II, Korea, and Vietnam War veterans to Washington, D.C. for free to see their memorials. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight is looking for you. If you know of a veteran, please sign them up for their honor flight, or if you'd like to lend your support, visit gslhonorflight.org. And for all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Americans are struggling, and in D.C., politicians do nothing. It's time for a fighter like Eric Schmidt. Biden's green energy policy punishing us at the pump. Eric Schmidt will fight back. Biden's big government spending sprees. Eric Schmidt will stand strong. Biden's failed agenda, driving up inflation. Eric Schmidt says no more. Fed up? Choose a fighter. Eric Schmidt, U.S. Senate. AFP Action paid for and is responsible for the content of this messaging. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AFPAction.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 12 noon, it's a sunny sky and 77 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour.
That's the way it started out for me, was just a moment of silent prayer by myself. I have no intentions of going back and wanting to pray with kids. It's just wanting the ability to thank God after a football game.
Missouri Senate candidates are reacting after the U.S. Supreme Court sided with a football coach who sought to kneel and pray on the field after games. Congressman Billy Long says, quote, the fact that a school would fire someone for practicing their religion privately is totally un-American, end quote. State Attorney General Eric Schmidt says he previously sent a letter to the Cameron School District in Northwest Missouri supporting that football team's prayer sessions. This Supreme Court case involved a coach in Washington State.
I am a religious leader. I am a Christian. And I had an abortion.
Reverend Deetra Wise Baker of Eden Theological Seminary joined other religious leaders in Mayor Tashara Jones' office to speak out against the overturning of Roe versus Wade in support of Board Bill 61, the Reproductive Equity Fund. Rabbi Susan Talvey joined in.
Abortion bans deepen every structural inequality in our society. They disproportionately, as you've heard, affect people who are struggling financially, people of color.
Congresswoman Cori Bush says she's calling on the Biden administration to declare the attack on abortion rights a public health emergency. A Louisiana judge has blocked enforcement of a statewide abortion ban in that state designed to automatically go into effect when Roe fell. Ukrainian officials say there may be high casualties after a missile struck a crowded shopping mall in the city of Kremenchuk. BBC's Maura Alderson reports President Zelensky says the target had no strategic value.
He said more than 1,000 people were in the building when the missiles struck. Footage from the site shows the badly damaged, collapsing building ablaze and fire crews struggling to contain the flames. Earlier, the Ukrainian authorities urged residents of Lysychansk to leave the eastern city immediately.
According to Ukrainian officials, at least 2 people are dead and at least 20 injured. President Biden wraps up his G7 meetings in Germany tomorrow, then goes to Madrid. CBS's Steve Dorsey is there and has a preview.
President Biden will meet with Spanish King Felipe VI and the country's President Pedro Sanchez. The White House says Mr. Biden will discuss Ukraine and Russia with Sanchez, along with climate change, economic prosperity, and global health security. President Biden will begin NATO meetings with world leaders Wednesday.
The U.S. has turned to Spain for help resettling Central American refugees. The First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, how'd you like to return something, then keep it?
In recent weeks, retailers as big as Target and Walmart have warned that they're facing big problems trying to store the massive gluts of unsold merchandise they have, part of the fallout from recent supply chain lurches. And that has them considering a new idea, letting you keep stuff you don't want instead of returning it. Analysts tell CNN it's not a bad idea because the cost of storage and trying to resell items can match or even exceed the loss from refunds without returns. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifels now down 19 points to 31,481. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Emergency vehicles are on 70 west past Zumble, have the left lane closed right now. Stall 70 east before 141, right lane closed. And the weather is sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
A gorgeous sunny afternoon with highs in the low 80s, comfortable sleeping weather tonight, down in the 50s, low 60s, and then a little warmer at a time. Mid 80s tomorrow, low 90s Wednesday. Still not all that humid. The heat and humidity build for Thursday and Friday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sunny and 79 in Florissant, 79 in St. Peters, and 78 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
12:04 on the show on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Marr, Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. You can find us on Twitter at the show KMOX. And I mentioned that because our pinned tweet has a lot of the other information you could want, like the link to Facebook.com/KMOX1120 or the YouTube.com/KMOX1120.
Amy's phone number?
No, that's not on there, Ranji.
Oh.
But the link to the Odyssey app is, so that would be a link to, say, listen to us live, where you can also rewind if you missed something. Or you can get the podcast there. You can get the podcast at any of the regular third-party podcast sites that you might use on a regular basis.
That sounds sketch, though.
No, it's not.
Like,
they're real. They're, like Spotify and,
okay.
The non-Odyssey ones. But obviously the Odyssey one's probably the easiest,
It's the easiest.
to use. Just ours, so it's easier.
And what's great about the Odyssey app is that, and I've mentioned this before, but it bears repeating, if you're listening to the show live, the show, and you think you hear Amy say something ridiculous, there's that little 15-second or 30, I think it's 15 seconds. You hit the rewind button, and it'll go back, and you'll be like, yep, she did say what I thought she
and
said.
you can also rewind basically anything in the last 24 hours. So you can,
Yeah.
there's this way you can just move around.
We might as well just
You
go
can-
listen to the podcast.
You can time travel.
Oh, my God, I love time travel.
That's what that is.
Did you ever watch Quantum Leap?
Oh, my, of
with
course.
Scott Bakula?
Who's from St. Louis?
Missouri.
Is he?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He is.
Does
I
he-
never watched that show.
Oh my gosh, what's wrong with you? Quantum
A lot
Leap
of
was
things,
amazing.
but that was never it.
It was a great show.
When was that show out?
80s,
Really?
like
Mhm.
late 80s.
That would have been when I was in high school, so I probably wasn't watching a lot of TV then.
Oh, yeah, sports
and
Uh,
parties and such.
Yeah.
I was party boy.
Yeah.
He's partying. Ronj and I are sitting there watching Quantum
Well, yeah,
Leap.
you were like 8. Ranji was
No,
12.
I was watching repeats because I was born in 83.
Yeah.
Quantum
never saw
Leap. Quantum Leap's a really good show.
Great.
Do you know what the concept was?
It's time travel.
Well, yeah. But there was an accident. Everything starts with an accident, Kevin. There was an
really?
accident, and so he would leap into people's, like he would assume people's lives. Like he would leap into he'd wake up and he's in a person's life. He's them.
Oh.
Like I would be your consciousness, right? And I would take over, and you have to figure out where am I? Oh, and you go to the mirror and see what you look like, and then you'd have to fix something. Something was going wrong, and he would have to fix it. And once he fixed it, he would leap into the next person.
Yeah,
it's very creepy, but it was a great show.
Yeah, I just did the Google. So it was 89 to 93. I saw almost no TV during that time. That was senior year in high school through college.
That is why
not much primetime television watching then.
When I graduated, moved up north, there was about a 2-3 year period where I didn't watch any network stuff, which is why I've never seen The Office.
Yeah.
And everybody keeps telling me, "Oh, you'd love it. You'd love it." I have never seen it, and I don't think I'm going back. But there was a time period where I didn't watch a lot of network TV.
This would have been in that time period for me. Now, a little before that, like 8th, 9th grade.
Yeah.
By the time I had a driver's license, I wasn't really watching like network shows in prime time. I was just doing things, but mostly sports,
Okay, Kevin.
like going and playing sports, that kind of thing.
We started the show with Monday Motivation,
Yes.
which is your favorite thing in the whole world.
Yep.
I just want everybody to know, if you missed it, Wheeler loves Monday Motivations.
Oh,
He's got them all
there's
over.
nothing better than somebody that just retweets Monday motivation memes. And today, this topic brought to you by Kirk Herbstreit of ESPN, who was retweeting Monday motivations. I'm like, okay, dude, like, come on. Number one, I hate those things. Number two, that hatred for those things led me to one I actually liked, though, and I retweeted it. So you want to hear my favorite Monday morning motivation?
I think you told us, but I want to hear it again.
Yeah, well, some people weren't listening 2 hours ago, Ranji.
Well, that's why I said I want to hear it again.
Drink your coffee is one. I don't drink coffee, but I'll substitute my Mountain Dew for that. Stay focused and positive. Don't freak out.
That's my favorite.
Also, remember, this is my favorite. Remember, stabbing people is wrong.
Depends.
Other question is, are you wearing pants? Which I think is a good one. It's Monday. You probably want to wear pants.
Depends.
And then you are a magnificent sunflower or potato, whichever you like.
That's true.
I like that.
Would
Would you be a sunflower or a potato, Raji?
Potato.
Oh, I'm a sunflower because I bring joy to everybody.
Yes.
I'm around.
Yeah, the patrons.
I know what
city over here.
Amy would. Amy's insult for other people she doesn't like is, "Oh, he's a potato. I don't like him. He's a potato."
That's a thing. Like my kid says that all the time. I'm just going to be a potato today. I'm like, okay.
So we've really missed out on this because I was gone for several days last week, and we had decided before the show even began that when one of us was missing, we would keep the webcam up and put a potato on screen in place of one of us.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
Too much responsibility. I'm never going to remember that.
If you bring a potato, I'll do it.
Okay.
Do they
bring
still
the
make
potato.
Mr. Potato Head?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll just get one of those.
I think a real potato would be better.
Right, but then we have to take care of it.
No, you
refrigerate
bring
it.
different potatoes. You don't have to use the same.
I don't want to
potato.
be responsible for getting a new potato every
It can be
time.
the same one.
We'll just start growing
Unless
other
it gets
potatoes.
moldy, then we can replace it.
I don't want to.
Haven't you ever found a potato in the fridge you didn't know was like in a drawer and it starts to sprout?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I hate that.
Why?
You don't want that. It just looks weird.
Just
How-
life finding a way.
How risky are you guys when it comes to vegetables and produce, and it getting old and you still eating it?
Risk and quality of taste are linked. So if it's something that tastes really good, the risk factor is I'm going to take my chances.
Yeah.
If it's a carrot, nope. Bye. See ya.
Wait, what?
So if it's a tasty food item,
Yes.
I will take
Oh,
more
I
of
see
a
what you're
risk.
saying. I thought you meant
If it is
okay.
boring and plain, I'm not taking any risk. It will be chucked.
I thought you meant if it still tastes good, it's probably fine.
I mean, that's probably a good rule, right?
I will take.
Right?
That's how
Yeah, I
food
think it's pretty
poisoning
good.
No,
Isn't
that's
it?
how food poisoning happens.
Is it?
What?
Well, no, you know what? You're right.
You
Because
don't get-
the last time I got food poisoning really bad, the food was tasty, but I probably shouldn't have eaten it because it was salmon that had been sitting out for like 7
Oh
hours.
gosh, yeah, yeah. You can't do that with
we
salmon.
had a barbecue and then it was still out, and I ate it later, and then I got really sick.
Well, I ate that salmon a couple of weeks ago. Remember, I told you,
You
guys,
turned out
like,
okay?
hey, yeah, I was okay. Nothing really bad happened. I will push it when it comes to the expiration on dairy. So, milk, cheese, any of that stuff. And the reason I do is because of one of my closest friends, his dad used to be a higher up at Dean's, the dairy stuff.
yeah.
And he's like, those expiration dates, just you can
Dean's is now
play with it.
going to have to say no.
I know,
please
Raj, you're just
follow.
casting aspersions.
Yeah,
I'm just
they're going to have to tell you to follow the
First
expiration
it's pilots,
dates.
now it's dairy people.
I only asked a question about pilots,
You
and we got an answer.
Also asked, can we eat dairy cows for steak?
Oh, that is a great question.
You asked that off the air, though, right?
Yeah, I did. We were in
Yeah.
the office, and I was on the interstate yesterday and drove past one of the cattle, trailers with all the beef in the back, and I couldn't tell if they were dairy cows or regular cows, and I wondered, can we eat dairy cows, and do they taste as good as the steak cows?
You can eat dairy cows.
Amy looked it up for me.
I didn't even
In
know
a
there was
segment we
difference.
call, Google is your friend.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good segment.
I know.
Somebody should sponsor that.
Maybe Google. We should do
Google
a
is Your
weekly
Friend,
segment
sponsored by Google.
called Google is your friend, and we can just ask
Because I
the
say
most
that to
ridiculous
people
questions.
a lot, who people like just make stuff up or they guess at things. Like, I wonder if this. Google is your friend. You can search and find it in 10 seconds.
That is a thing. Remember when you used to have arguments with your friends about stuff that happened? You're like, no, that didn't happen.
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
yeah.
it did. Well, now you can end the argument immediately by Googling
Which
it. It used to be
ruins-
more fun.
Ruins the fun. I told
Yeah.
so many people that Billy Ocean was from Scotland, and I believed it. Caribbean Queen, that guy?
Why did you believe that?
Because I read it somewhere, but here's the thing, and it's an honest mistake. So he moved to England and lived when he was a kid and lived there until his 20s. And I heard Scotland.
Oh.
But if you Google it,
All right.
why? What's wrong with you people?
What's
It's
wrong with
just-
you?
It's just something. I just want to apologize to everyone because I definitely said it on air.
A texter says this is a nice lunchtime discussion.
Hey, we're just warning people so they don't do something bad when they're eating lunch.
Right. So
I've
I've
not described anything foul.
just smell the food. If it smells okay, you're fine.
Yeah.
Probably.
Hey guys, guess what?
What do we got?
Our friend Jeff Smith is
Oh.
going to be joining us next. So he was former Missouri State Senator. He has known Eric Greitens for 40 years. And so he has some insights into Greitens and his evolution over the past
Yeah,
few years.
really good piece in the Kansas City Star. We'll be talking to him about all of that coming up next on the show.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Wondering if market volatility is the new normal? Are you looking to validate the financial decisions you've made? Or find out if there's anything else you could be doing? A conversation with an Edelman Financial Engine's wealth planner may give you peace of mind, no matter what's affecting the market. You'll get a valuable expert second opinion and a fresh perspective on your wealth planning. And you'll get insight into other opportunities available to you. Call Edelman Financial Engines now at 833-PLAN-EFE or visit EdelmanFinancialEngines.com for your complimentary retirement review and financial plan. That's 833-PLAN-EFE. Call by Tuesday at 10 p.m. and take advantage of this limited time offer. An $800 value, free. That's 833-PLAN-EFE. Or visit EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. You didn't come this far to only come this far.
We're all on this planet together. So join Odyssey and find your one thing. Cut up six-pack rings and reduce your use of plastic to help keep it out of our waterways and oceans. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AA MCO.
I hear all the time for years now, sign up and be a preferred customer. My best recommendation I give my customers is never, ever sign an agreement that states if you purchase from me, in order for you to maintain your warranty, you must pay me hundreds of dollars a year. My philosophy is to shoot everybody straight. My customers come first. When that phone rings, you do not have to pay to be priority. You are priority number one. When that phone rings, you're preferred. I would prefer you call me than the preferred company that you're paying hundreds of dollars to every year. So try them, then call me, Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Save the number. There are unscrupulous people that are pretending to be me. It's one easy number, 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, Bart with a B, Inman with an I, 314-293-2600, or the same spelling, Bart Inman, a BNNI.com.
Spark Co-working St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Co-working community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadiums, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
Maureen talks about her experience using 3-day kitchen and bath.
I had for years been dreaming how I wanted my kitchen down to every detail. When 3-day kitchen and bath came, they were thrilled to death that I knew exactly what I wanted. They came back with a drawing and it was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted. They came in, they did their thing, and it turned out as perfect as I imagined it. The quality of it, it's beautiful. It's amazing. It is beautiful. They were efficient. They were trustworthy. The recommendations were unquestionable. And they were going to do exactly what I wanted. I had a lovely experience.
Start your remodel today by visiting 3daykitchen.com.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
Trusted information, live and local. From the award-winning KMOX newsroom.
All right, back in on the show on KMOX. Chris Raji, Amy Mark, Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. And a special guest in studio with us, Jeff Smith, the Executive Director of Workforce Housing Association, the Missouri Workforce Housing Association. Obviously, ex-Missouri State Senator, writes for the Missouri Independent at Jeff Smith Mo on Twitter. Did I get it, Jeff?
You got it all.
I got it all? Good. I hate when I screw up. I do it a lot. So, and it's nice when I nail one once in a while. How you doing?
I'm great. Beautiful day. How are you guys?
No, pretty good. Pretty good. I will say, though, the last few weeks have been, let's say, busy news-wise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we jumped right in. We've been talking guns. We've been talking about, obviously, Roe v. Wade. And we've been talking a lot about Eric Greitens and the ad last week and all of that. And I saw on Twitter this weekend a tweet to the link to your story, which you were asked to write for the Kansas City Star because you've known Eric for a little while.
Yeah, almost 40 years.
Wow.
I feel like my dad when I say that. But
It does sound like an old guy number, doesn't it?
But yeah, we played soccer against each other, as kids. And then, we went to Boys State together. We were the same year. Boys State is it's a summer deal for, I think, rising juniors in high school who are interested in politics and policy and civic engagement. And so one kid from every high school in the state, one boy and one girl, go to Boys State and Girls State.
I did that in Illinois.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. But they sent two of us. So, we got two. Yeah. But it was a fun time.
Yeah. So, and he was obviously interested in politics at a young age. As I closed the column with, he had told his kindergarten teacher that he wanted to be president someday. So I guess I wasn't surprised when I saw that he did ultimately run for office decades later. But so, yeah, the piece was just kind of about that experience. And, we went to college just a few miles down the road from one another in North Carolina. I went to University of North Carolina. He went to the University of Satan in
That's Duke. They do have a devil for their mascot. It's a blue devil, but it's a devil nonetheless.
I mean, not too far off.
So the piece.
There was a guy on Twitter, totally random, but he used to always say like "Merry Christmas," and he'd say "Merry Christmas" to everyone except for Osama bin Laden, Duke, and the Florida Georgia line.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I like Florida Georgia line,
There you go.
but the rest of the sentiment,
Yeah.
I'm not too far from. Anyway, the piece just sort of chronicled his metamorphosis as a civic person from being kind of a more liberal Democrat, which in the 2000s, he drove to Denver to see the Obama nomination in 2008 alongside former Governor Bob Holden, and it kind of chronicled his evolution from that to the person we saw in that video last week, barging into the house with accompanied by men in tactical gear, quote unquote, rhino hunting. Rhino being a acronym for Republican in name only, a term used by kind of the far right to distinguish themselves from more kind of mainstream Republicans.
Yeah, it was both a disgusting commercial and comical in the sense that, man, if Saturday Night Live had to create a parody political ad, I don't know how they could have come up with anything better than what Greitens put out there. But we were laughing because it was this big, tough guy. We've got our guns. We're going rhino hunting. What are they going to do? Kick down the door and then it's me standing there? Do you know what I mean? Like, I would fall in that category. It's like me and John Hancock sitting there drinking coffee and going, oh my gosh, we weren't expecting this. How does Eric Greitens go from being a liberal Democrat to not like a conservative or a moderate Republican, but full on gun toting, door kicking MAGA guy in a relatively short amount of time? Was he not a Democrat in 2015?
He was a Democrat as late as 2012, 2013.
Okay.
And then when he announced in 2015 that he was running for governor, he published an article in Fox News, saying that he had switched, in part because the government was paying too much money for veterans who needed different types of care, which he said undermined their self-sufficiency or self-reliance.
Okay.
So, the crux of the article was that, hey, everyone changes their mind in life, right? People evolve. We've probably all take a different position on something now than we did, 15, 20 years ago. The real crux of the piece was that it's not so much that he evolved that irritates people so much. It's that not only did he, and not just evolve, but do kind of a 180 from one place to another place, but that he then makes his political hay off attacking anyone else who isn't quite as conservative as he is today, even though he was far to the left of those very people less than a decade ago.
So I guess for a lot of us who are paying attention, it's disheartening to see somebody seemingly go from having a political stance or a general political position to changing their mind on it, not because they really truly believe the other thing now, but they just know that's a better way for them to get elected. Is that kind of what we're dealing with here, though, is somebody who's just, oh, well, this might be my easier path to office?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for certain about it. I'm not in anyone else's head, but you certainly meet people, as you referenced, who maybe they're pro-choice, and then after they have a baby and they change their mind on that. Or you have other people who were pro-life and then, maybe meet someone who had a very difficult experience and decide, you know what, I do see times when people, when that might be necessary. This is not one of those situations.
Yeah.
This is a situation where he wanted to be president from the time he was literally in kindergarten. His kindergarten teacher was interviewed and talked about this. I watched him at Boise State when we were 16 years old, running around, trying to be the Boise State U.S. Senator. I have watched his ambitions for many years, as others have, and it seems very clear that his metamorphosis tracked the larger metamorphosis that Missouri has undergone, right? We were the bellwether state of the country. From 1900 to 2000, we picked the winning presidential candidate every single time except once in 1956. And then around 2000, we began reddening, right? We had term limits kick in at the state level. And those term limits ended up resulting in the defeat of most of the rural Democrats who used to dominate the state legislature. They were pro-life, pro-gun, pro-union Democrats. And during that time, the Missouri legislature shifted from being dominated by Democrats to now what we have today, which is supermajority Republican. Eric Greitens watched that shift, and he watched the broader shift of a state that a decade ago was dominated by Democrats at the statewide level, governor, attorney general, secretary of state, all those jobs, now dominated by Republicans. And he said, I see where the political winds are going. I'm going to go there too. It's smart politics, but no one should mistake it for principle.
Interesting. Do you want to hang out for a few minutes?
Sure, if you're willing to put up with me.
Well, yes.
Sure.
I mean, we wouldn't ask if we weren't willing to, but obviously we've got news coming up here in a moment. We're going to pick the conversation back up with Jeff Smith, of course, the executive director of Missouri Workforce Housing Association, former Missouri State Senator, at Jeff Smith MO. That's at Jeff Smith MO on Twitter. And we're going to pick back up on this conversation, his piece in the Kansas City Star, all about the transformation of Eric Greitens from one side to the other. We'll pick that conversation back up after the news here on the show on KMOX.
Through the hard times and the good, I have to celebrate you, baby. I have to praise you like...
When there's breaking news,
The United States Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade today.
it's local coverage from KMOX News.
KMOX's Brian Kelly is at Planned Parenthood.
And where the news is happening.
Reporting from outside the Supreme Court, Fred Bodimer.
Plus insight from KMOX personalities.
While we do have a pro-choice culture, I don't think we have a pro-abortion culture.
What this case does now, it gives them the power to do things that half the people in the country probably think is terrible.
Once this law is overturned, and it is, that contraception is next.
Breaking news, balanced conversation.
Abortion is now illegal in the state of Missouri.
On News Radio 1120, KMOX.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
I'm a martial artist, a pilot, mountain biker, hiker. The thing that brings me down is my feet. When my wife finally talked me into going into the Good Feet store, the salesperson there immediately started investing himself in my problem. This is not something that you could solve online. There's got to be somebody there that can help you find that fit. You put in the arch supports and your day becomes better and the clouds go away and it's a good life. I wear them all the time. Good Feet has saved the day.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief. Good Feet arch supports are proudly made in the USA.
Liberal extremists threaten us with a socialist nightmare, and fake conservative Mary Miller helps them do it. In Washington, Miller repeatedly voted with AOC and the Socialist Squad to weaken America. Siding with the radical left, Miller voted to defund our military, oppose fair pay for our troops, and against investigating Joe Biden's disgraceful Afghanistan exit. Miller even bragged about being the only Illinois Republican to stand with AOC and the Socialist Squad to undermine our military. And before Miller sided with liberal extremists against our troops, her family got rich at taxpayer expense, banking almost $1 million in government subsidies. We can't afford to let the socialist win. We can't afford fake conservative Mary Miller. Strong Leaders Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Strong Leaders Fund, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 1900 Campus Commons Drive, Suite 100, Reston, Virginia, 20191.
At 12:30, it's a sunny sky and 79 degrees downtown at the Arch. And this just in, the House January 6th panel is calling a surprise hearing tomorrow to present new evidence, and providing no other details on this. We'll have more information as it becomes available. AP correspondent Jim Heinz reports a Russian trial date has been set for the criminal trial of detained basketball star Brittany Griner.
Brittany Griner, the American women's basketball star who was arrested in Moscow in February, appeared in court today, and her trial was set to begin on July 1st. Griner was arrested in February at a Moscow airport when inspectors found vape canisters containing cannabis oil. She has since been held in detention, and she faces up to 10 years in prison.
Major headaches are coming to Manchester Road in Mid-County. MoDOT says the arterial will close eastbound through Brentwood and Maplewood for 2 months so MSD can do work on the sewers. You have a week to prepare. Manchester East between Laclede Station and Hanley will close early next Tuesday, July 5th. And we've got a crash on 141 South past Elam Avenue. The 2 left lanes are closed. They've cleared the emergency vehicles 70 west past Zumble and stalled vehicles 70 east before 141, the right lane blocked. And our forecast is sponsored by Reinhold Flooring. This afternoon, sunny, nice with a high of 82. Overnight, low 63 in the city, upper 50s in the outlying suburbs. And then for tomorrow, not as humid in the afternoon with a high of 85 degrees. Reinhold Flooring offers an extensive portfolio of resilient flooring products, including Armstrong and Shaw, developed to provide exceptional design, durability, and value. Start your next project by scheduling a free in-home measuring consultation at reinholdflooring.com. It's 79 degrees, sunny sky downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hey guys, Glover here for Svedka Vodka Soda. Go to the next level. Replace your go-to cocktail with Svedka Vodka Soda. Canned vodka cocktails made with real vodka, real juice, and sparkling water at 8% ABV. Visit Svedka.com today. Go responsibly.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Mark Cox here. Join me as we head to enchanting Germany to see fairy tale castles like Neuschwanstein and picturesque Bavarian villages, medieval Munich, the world-famous Hofbrauhaus, even Mozart's Salzburg in Austria, too. Join me this fall, $49.49. That includes your airfare. Call 888-733-9494 or go online today to conservativetours.com. That's conservativetours.com.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, 314-946-9999. We buy houses direct. If you're thinking about selling, you're not sure where you're going to go, you can sign a contract with us. We are the buyer, and we can provide a flexible closing date for you. Once we've written a contract, we can actually adjust the closing date if you need to move it up or you need to move it back. A lot of people aren't sure where they're going to move next, and we can make it easy on you. ClaymanGroup.com, 314-946-9999, 946, all nines.
For garage door repair, St. Louis calls the real Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. They're the ones with the red ribbon. They're the ones who've been here since 1926. Others try to copy the name, but they cannot match the level of service. The red ribbon means 94 years of trust and loyalty from St. Louis homeowners. Always look for the red ribbon. It means you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Call 314-781-5200.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sundays at 10:15 on Sports Open Line and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show.
I'm excited for not only the club but for the fans. This is a special year for sure.
On KMOX.
All right, back on the show. Chris Ranji, A.B. Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. And we've got Jeff Smith in studio with us. Jeff, of course, a former Missouri State Senator, now the executive director of the Missouri Workforce Housing Association, has a, what do you call this, an op-ed? Is that what that's for the Kansas City Star, or just a guest column? I don't know. How would you describe your
guest
piece?
column? Sounds good to me.
Guest column for the Kansas City Star. And the subheadline is, I grew up with Eric Greitens. I know why he transformed from Democrat to MAGA star. It is a fascinating thing. Now, we were just talking during the break how the language has become super extreme, and things that used to be agreeable and open for conversation just don't seem to be anymore. And it's interesting how fast that happened to me. I don't think that happened over 20 years. I think it seemed like it happened over like 2 years. Like late 2015 to about 2017, 2018 was like somebody flipped a switch in how the communications are and how vicious it became.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's been a change in the tone of American politics. An ad like the one that Greitens put out last week, I feel like, if that would have happened a decade ago, that person would have been shunned by his entire party. And, everyone from, every U.S. senator would have been called to condemn that ad. And now it was like his opponents condemned it. Governor Parson, just said something kind of anodyne, like, I encourage people to take a look at it and see what you think, or, and that, I think, coarsening of the public dialogue, isn't, if you have to blame one person for it, I think it's impossible to say anyone other than Donald Trump bears a lot of the responsibility for it.
What's it going to take to move away from that?
That's a great question. I feel really blessed in my life that I have a ton of Republicans that I would consider close friends. They know who I am. They know what I stand for. And we talk and we argue and we debate, and we sometimes change each other's minds a little bit, and we kid about our own side and we kid about each other's sides. And I feel like that's brought me a lot of understanding and empathy. Hasn't changed my positions on a lot, but it's helped me understand why the other side feels the way they do. And all of the trends in society are working against those kind of relationships building, right? We've got, instead of 3 channels, NBC, ABC, and CBS, now there's 10,000 channels, and you can go and find the news that tells you exactly what you already believed. There's all these, there's Twitter and there's Parler for the right? Like, everyone's got their own social media sites where they can get their views reinforced. And unfortunately, and even more broadly, and Josh Hawley alluded to this after Roe v. Wade, we've got this long-term geographic sorting whereby progressives are wanting to move to places like University City in the Central West End and Tower Grove South, and conservatives are wanting to move to Jefferson County or Franklin County. And the whole country is increasingly sorting whereby we want to live by people who think like us. And I think when you add all those trends together, it doesn't portend well for a repairing of this social fabric in the country.
Yeah, I mean, you would think it's that, like you mentioned, the geographic sorting, the isolation, being able to find news that caters to your preferences, your priors, the same with social media. It's that allows Greitens to continue to run for office. And yet his history with the hairdresser, cheating on his wife, abusing the hairdresser, his kid, his wife, tying up the hairdresser in the basement, blackmailing her with compromising photos, that is somehow not disqualifying. My goodness, you had Jim Garrity of the National Review say, I long for the good old days when that would have been disqualifying. And yet it doesn't seem to bother people.
It doesn't. And, as Kevin mentioned during the break, one of the things that he's been effective at is depicting all of his own scandals as a function of the liberal media or a function of the rhinos, as opposed to taking responsibility because, obviously scandal has followed him for years, but it's never his fault. And that kind of, tribalism in our politics now where, so maybe I did this, but it's the other side, it's their fault. They're the ones who are making a big deal out of it. As Kevin said during the break, one person in rural Missouri who was quoted about him said, well, whatever he did, he's the one the Democrats hate the most, so I'll vote for him.
Yeah, that was a Post-Dispatch story, and it was a farmer who said he's guaranteed my vote because Democrats hate him.
It's just insanity to think
I do
that
not
way.
identify with that in either direction. Like you mentioned, Jeff, that your group of people, my group is everything. Like, I don't have a team. I hate team sports in that regard. I'm going to save that for actual sports. But like my friends and family, we are all over the place. We're all mixed up and we all get along. We might argue once in a while, but we all get along. We don't look at people that disagree with us and say that person is essentially the devil. But that's how the language has changed. I don't want to bring too much QAnon in this, but part of what's doing that is this conspiracy theory that Democrats are actually evil demons. Like they are like spiritually evil. And we change the language in that way. So I brought this up as an example. Like in war, soldiers are often encouraged to use slang for their enemy and not what the enemy really is, right? It's how you became the Krauts in Germany and some of the other more offensive language that's been used in various wars for the opponent. And it has that dehumanizing effect.
And disassociating them from their humanity.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, and that's important in wartime. It shouldn't be important in politics. And I've seen exactly what you're talking about with people who, I considered pretty good friends. Now in my text messages, they're saying, Democrats are turning their murderous, evildoers on the Supreme Court. Democrats are rooting for gas to go up to $10 an hour to inflict maximum possible pain. And it's like, I get if you disagree with Democratic policies, I get if you think that, hey, like, I don't appreciate protesting at people's houses, but to then ascribe this sort of like collective, plot that, Democrats are rooting for chaos. Democrats are rooting for people to be hurting. I've never seen anything like it. And especially, you talked about QAnon. What I fear is that QAnon has moved the Overton window, if you will, and brought some of that language towards the mainstream, out of the fringe.
And I'll go to the other side as well, in the sense that I like that you said, we see the opposite political parties ascribing the worst intentions to the other side. For me, I've seen pretty much just a broad brushstroke that if you did feel that Roe should be overturned, and that was the phrase they used, not even that you're pro-choice and you think that Roe was decided in error, which I know is a nuance that nobody would say, but the pro-life movement in general as hating women and wanting to control women's bodies, when there are a lot of pro-life women as well. And if, to not grant the pro-life movement the benefit of a doubt that if you really believe that abortion is killing unborn babies, you would be passionate about trying to save those babies' lives. So even, you see political sides ascribing the absolute worst intentions to the other person.
Yeah, and just a little polling nugget to kind of reinforce something that you said. Public opinion on abortion doesn't really break down on gender lines.
Right.
Women are as likely to be pro-life as men are. And so, yeah, I mean, that sort of that portrayal by some on the far left that, anyone who's pro-life hates all women, I certainly don't ascribe to that view. They, as you said, if you believe something is murder, which I don't agree with that position, but at least it helps me understand how someone would take the public policy positions they take.
Jeff, we appreciate you doing this. Thanks so much. Good piece in the KC Star. We'll look forward to more things along those lines or not.
What did you just say?
I think what he's saying is, are you going to write again?
Those type things.
So I do. I have an active Twitter feed at Jeff Smith Mo, where I comment on politics, and I write a regular column for the Missouri Independent. If you're a poker fan out there, I don't know if any of you guys play poker, but Texas Hold'em, is a popular poker variant, and I've been writing like a year-long column depicting the Senate race as a Texas Hold'em game, with each candidate holding certain cards. I'll be doing 2 more columns on that until next month.
We appreciate you, Jeff. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Kevin.
Hey, I said that clearly. What do you know? Redbird Report next on KMOX.
You did it.
Parents, remember this website. Write it down, make a plan to visit. www.showmeschooloptions.org. Have you always wanted to send your child to private school? If they attend a public school district, or if they're coming in or just out of kindergarten, now may be your chance to receive up to $6,375 per child per year to apply towards private school tuition for this fall. But time is running out. The next school year is around the corner. Go to www.showmeschooloptions.org to learn more about Missouri's Scholars Program. It's new, it's free, it's a chance to invest in your child's future. The Missouri Scholars Program can be used for private school, homeschool, tutoring, therapy, and more. There's nothing more important you can do for your child's future this summer. Go to www.showmeschooloptions.org now. There could be $6,375 just waiting to be claimed. Tell your friends too. www.showmeschooloptions.org. Sign up and see. It's free. And who doesn't like free right about now?
Hi, this is Charlie Brendan. Do you have a home or a business made out of stone or brick? If so, listen up, because Morelli Tuck Pointing is the masonry specialist, serving St. Louis for 31 years. Morelli Tuck Pointing can work on completely solid houses and buildings, spot pointing with color match, brick and stone repair, foundation repair, walkways, porches. This time of year, people notice that their patios are somewhat cattywampus and those bricks need realignment. How about caulking, waterproofing? Morelli is a family-owned and operated business. Longtime employees there feel like family. And of course, everyone at Morelli is very proud to be a recipient of the Better Business Bureau Torch Award, which is only given to local companies with exceptional customer service. Today, you can call to request a free and quick estimate at 314-645-1387. When it comes to bricks and stone, go to the best. Morelli Tuck Pointing at MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Hi there, it's John Hancock for First Mid Bank and Trust. They're a community-focused organization. They put so much money back into the communities where they serve. They've been around for 157 years. If you're looking for a bank, check them out. They got 19 locations here in the greater St. Louis area. Plenty of small business professionals to work with. They got insurance experts. Whether you're saving for your first home, paying off debt, or planning for retirement, First Mid Bank is the place for you. Go check them out online, firstmid.com. You'll be glad you did.
If you're planning to sell your St. Louis area home, now may be the best time to capture the highest sale value before the market changes. This is Debbie Monterey, and according to industry experts, the real estate market has shifted. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty agrees, and she has options to help every type of home seller because she understands that every situation is different. If you need to sell your home quickly, but you're worried about finding your next home, Gloria has your answers and solutions. Gloria has an instant cash offer program that gives you above market cash offers, no showings, no hassles, and you pick the closing date even up to a year, giving you the cash and time needed to find your next home. Call Gloria Liu and ask her about the instant cash offer guarantees or other options that will help you sell fast and for the most money. Call 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888. It's Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria has the buyers.com.
What are you watching? Those governor candidates accusing each other. It's awful. I've done my research and I'm voting for Gary Rabine. Gary Rabine talks about real issues, slashing property taxes, loosening restrictions on businesses, and supporting law enforcement. Rabine built one of America's largest paving companies from scratch.
I'm Gary Rabine. I can and will beat Pritzker. Let's turn Illinois around. It's Rabine time.
Paid for by Rabine for governor.
If your business has accounting problems, you probably have tax problems. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Running a small business is tough, and it's no surprise that companies that don't keep good books often run into tax issues. If you don't fix your accounting problems, you could be doomed to land in the same tax pitfalls every year. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I can help you get out of tax trouble and stay out. If your small business doesn't have a CPA or accountant, I can help you find one. And if you already have one, I work closely with them to resolve your tax problems quickly. Make no mistake, if the numbers don't add up, the IRS will catch it. Fix your accounting and tax problems before they snowball with help from the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Tom Ackerman sees clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Mahotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Members of Children's Miracle Network hospitals treat more than 10 million children each year. Your local member hospital ensures that every child receives the best possible care. Show your support at cmnhospitals.org because kids can't wait. Visit cmnhospitals.org.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Community Living Incorporated is a local nonprofit organization on a mission to provide services and create opportunities for people with disabilities. See how you can get involved at communitylivingmo.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 314-441-4444.
This is the show.
The show continues on KMOX.
The pitch by Ueno. Albert is hit high and deep. A home run for Harrison Bader. Yadier Molina has homered. Double play. It's a big fly for Albert Pujols. A home run in the first inning for Goldie.
This is the Redbirds Report.
All right, time to talk a little baseball on your home for the Cardinals, KMOX. And, of course, the Cardinals playing host to the Marlins tonight. 5:50 for the pregame show here on KMOX, 6:45 for the first pitch. Not a great weekend in a lot of ways.
No.
Not only losing 2 out of 3 to the lowly Cubs, but also a 2-inning outing for Jack Flaherty yesterday. Had to be removed with renewed shoulder soreness, inflammation, if you will, Ranji's least favorite diagnosis. It's not a good weekend, man. I mean, losing 2 out of 3 to a bad team, your rival, And then also coming up on Sunday with a guy that you were hoping to be counting on as the season goes along. We don't know if it's going to be bad. I mean, we don't even know if Jack's going to miss a start at this point, but not good when you're coming out after 2 innings.
And the way they lost yesterday.
Yeah.
That stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not at this point of the season all that concerned about dropping 2 of 3 to a bad team. Like, that's not the thing that bothers me. I usually get more concerned about long-term stuff, like the potential Flaherty has this crop up again and again, or it does become something serious where they just have to put him on the shelf outright for multiple weeks or months or whatever it is. Because for a team that the one area they probably could use the most help is in the starting rotation, it's a pretty big blow to not have him available if it does turn into something more long-term. And you hit it, Kevin. I hate hearing the word inflammation, especially when it comes to elbows and shoulders.
I just hate the word shoulder. Anytime you're talking about shoulders in sports, it doesn't matter what sport it is. I mean, it's bad for offensive linemen. It's bad for hockey players. It's bad for pitchers especially. And it's super unpredictable. And what's frightening about it is it can go away for a while and then come back and then go away from. And what it means is you're getting to the point where saying we're expecting Jack Flaherty to be a regular contributor, we're getting to the point where that is not a realistic hope.
Right.
For this year.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean it can't be, but it's not. It's more of like you want to hope for the best, but you better plan for the worst.
You cannot count on it.
Right.
If you get it, it's almost like a bonus at this point, because if you have him available to you, great. But if you don't have him available, you just kind of have to expect that maybe this is what they're going to have to deal with for the rest of the year. And they'll have to figure it out. But whatever happens moving forward, they've got to get more innings out of their starters. You've got to give the bullpen some help.
I mean, there's just no question that is, because the bullpen is one of the strengths of the team. But now you've got Genesis Cabrera hurt. He's been one of your big three when you have a lead that you're trying to protect in the final innings. So how do you replace that? And do you then have the worry about some of the other guys that have been really good ending up injured as well? And again, I don't even mean Tommy John. I just mean if you got to be shut down for 3 or 4 weeks and it's not a major injury, just a minor thing, because you have to rely on them so much, it's really difficult. And, when we look at Michael Wacha as an example of a shoulder problem becoming a long-term problem, early on in his career, Michael Wacha was one of the best young pitchers in Major League Baseball. He was an all-star in his third year at the age of 23. He threw 180 innings, 17-7 that year. And then the shoulder stuff started to creep up. And it really limited him in 2016. He was healthy-ish in 2017. I say ish because he made 30 starts, but he was not going deep into games and wasn't really as effective as he had been in the past. And then since then, it's just been kind of on or off, missing half a season here, missing 6 or 7 games there. And he's fine. He's doing a nice job for Boston this year, but it's been up or down. It's been hit or miss from year to year based on games missed and also just with performance. And you would hate for it to go that way with Jack Flaherty, who, just a couple of years ago was one of the best young pitchers in Major League Baseball and still has that upside. But anytime it's a shoulder, it's a doubt.
Yeah, different sport. I guess you could take some hope from the fact that Vladimir Tarasenko had, 3 shoulder surgeries. And I, honest to goodness, thought this is the beginning of the end for him. And then he had that incredible season with baseball. I know it is different.
Especially a pitcher.
Yeah, say if it's a hitter, it's a little more like hockey. But for the pitcher, it's worse. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
but even there, where it's not as quote unquote significant for that position, look how long it took. And in there, it's about taking the contact, right? It's
how many stints on the IL is this now for Jack Flaherty?
We don't know if he's going to go this time, right? Okay. At this point, all we know is he came out yesterday, and then I'm sure they're going to spend the next couple of days evaluating. And, we're talking about they were careful with him in 2020, right? They didn't push him right away when they came back from COVID. They took their time. They were very careful with him. Last year, we had the injury pop up. We already had the problem this year at the end of the spring that wound up leading to him being on the injured list for 3 months, almost 3 months. It was 2.5 months before he came back. And now we're evaluating again. And it's concerning when it's only a couple of starts after you had gotten to where you're supposed to be 100%, right? Like rehab is supposed to get you to 100%.
Right. Because we all we did to this point was he got the rest first.
Right.
You know, you gave him all that rest so that you could start to rehab, so that you can get back to the point where you can pitch. And very little time transpired between the getting ready part and where we are now, where now he's dealing with the inflammation. I can't, and I hope I'm wrong on this, but I can't see this being a favorable outcome for the long term this season. It, and I hope I'm wrong, but it really does kind of feel like this might be a thing he deals with for the remainder of the year.
Quick question. Is there any update on Molina?
Hasn't been, not that I've seen since the initial. I mean, we knew it was going to be a while though. Like when it first happened, we knew it was reported as several weeks until we could even think about having the conversation. So it's going to be a little bit on that. And you know, it's nice to see the kid. By the way, Ivan Herrera had a big moment in the game yesterday. It didn't end up paying off, but actually, he had the big moment on Saturday too, with the sacrifice fly that drove in a run late. So the kids are getting their chances there, but you want to have him back. And look, it's a long season. There's plenty of time to go, but right now you got some things you're dealing with.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or crawfordbutts.com.
This is Corey with Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Shopping around for new HVAC systems is something nobody ever wants on their to-do list. So let's help make things easier with free estimates on new equipment, up to $2,150 on Carrier Cool Cash rebates, and 0% financing for up to 72 months. With over 50 years of award-winning service, you can trust Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling with your new system install. For details and to get in your comfort zone, contact Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
On Saturday, July 9th, the Cardinals host the Phillies. That day, 25,000 fans, ages 16 and older, will receive a short-sleeved hooded pullover thanks to the Shane Company. This soft gray pullover features a neon bird on the back, and it's sure to be one of the hottest items this season. That's Saturday, July 9th. The Cardinals, the Phillies, and the short-sleeved hooded pullover. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
Swing and a long one. Yachty got into it. It's a goner.
Sunday is Family Fun Day at Busch Stadium. On Sunday, July 10th, the Cardinals host the Phillies. That day, 10,000 kids ages 15 and younger entering with a ticket will take home a Yachty Air Molina tank top presented by Mercy. This red, white, and blue tank features the future Hall of Famer's nickname, Yachty. Come early for free frozen treats in the Ford Plaza thanks to Prairie Farms. That's Sunday, July 10th. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
KMOX, KEZK, HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. An Odyssey station.
Getting coverage from the right health insurance shouldn't be complicated. Health Markets can help you search for a plan that fits your needs and budget with just a few clicks and questions. Health Markets scans and ranks insurance plans to find the right fit for you. Apply for whatever type of insurance you need. Health, Medicare, dental, vision, life, and more. You can shop online at healthmarkets.com/easy or call one of our local licensed insurance agents by calling 833-833-5570. Take advantage of one-stop shopping to get free quotes and compare products from recognized insurance companies in your area. Get started today for free by visiting healthmarkets.com/easy or by calling 833-833-5570. That's healthmarkets.com/easy or call 833-833-5570. Health Markets Insurance Agency Incorporated is licensed as an insurance agency in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Service and product availability varies. Sales agents may be compensated based on enrollment.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 1 o'clock, it's a sunny sky and 79 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour, the murder trial of a father accused of killing his disabled child in 2003 is underway in St. Louis County.
DeJuan Ferguson was charged in 2019 with killing 9-year-old Christian Ferguson, who has never been found. The prosecution contends DeJuan killed Christian because the child's special needs interfered with his lifestyle. DeJuan had custody of Christian since 1998. The prosecution alleges DeJuan Ferguson failed to provide proper care for over 2 years, eventually causing his death. In June of 2003, DeJuan reported to police that he made a stop, left Christian in the car, and was carjacked. The child has never been found. In opening testimony, Christian's mom, Theda Person, told the jury that without medication, Christian would have died within 48 hours. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
With the 4th of July fast approaching, the St. Louis Fire Department is warning parents not to let their kids play with fireworks. Captain Garen Mosby says if you realized how hot sparklers burn, you never would hand one to your kid.
Water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. We bake a cake at about 350 degrees. Glass melts at 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Sparklers burn up to 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit.
Mosby says city fire department calls for help double on the 4th of July weekend, responding to everything from grass fires, dumpster fires, building fires, and fireworks injuries. Israel has eased its regulations for women seeking to undergo abortions in response to the U.S. Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe versus Wade. Israel's health minister says a woman has a, quote, complete right over her body. A Supreme Court ruling today could boost the acceptability of some religious practices in public school settings.
The High Court has ruled 6-3 in favor of a Washington State high school football coach who sought to pray on the field after games. The court's conservative majority says the First Amendment protected Joseph Kennedy, who was put on paid leave at Bremerton High School after defying repeated requests to stop kneeling and praying on the field. The case forced the justices to wrestle with balancing the religious and free speech rights of teachers and coaches with the rights of students not to feel pressured into taking part in religious practices. The court's 3 liberals say the ruling sets us further down a perilous path in forcing states to entangle themselves with religion. Sagar Magani, Washington.
The manager attacked at the Lafayette Square Fields Foods on Thursday is recovering. The suspect was armed with a gun and knife. Store owner Chris Goodson says the manager had 26 stitches on his face after he was slashed.
It's a fairly large cut from ear to mouth on the face.
The man facing charges for the attack is in court today. 27-year-old Sidney Dawkins has charges of assault, armed criminal action, and stealing. No bond was set after his arrest. The First Mid-Bank and Trust business desk put it on plastic.
Coming out of the pandemic, people are putting more purchases on credit. And just in time for that trend, here come some new credit cards. Saying it's the first in what will be a series of new cards, Wells Fargo unveils its Autograph Reward card set to hit the market in mid-July. It will offer 3 points for each dollar spent on gas, restaurants, travel, and streaming services. No annual fee. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
And the Dow from Stifel is down 64 points to 31,436. There's a crash on 141 South past Elam Avenue. The left lane closed. They've had emergency vehicles 70 west past Zumble, but those have been cleared. And our weather forecast is sponsored by KMOX.
Spectacular weather on this Monday afternoon. Sunshine in control, low humidity, below average temperatures, 82. That's it for the high today. Tonight, clear skies, upper 70s for evening plans, 59 for the overnight low. On Tuesday, sunny and nice, still comfortable humidity levels, 85 on Tuesday. Wednesday, partly sunny, pushing 90 degrees Wednesday afternoon with a little bit of a bump up in the humidity. Feels like summer again Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
79 in Florissant, 79 in St. Peter's, 79 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Mosby Building Arts.
Old siding, faded siding, cracked siding, water leaking siding. I want a new color siding. If new siding is in your future, trust Mosby Building Arts for quality siding. Installed the right way. Visit callmosby.com for siding inspiration.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
All right, it's 105 on the show. Chris Raji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler here. You guys can use our text line anytime you like, 314-436-7900. The voicemail line is 314-944-1120. Anything else at the show, KMOX on Twitter. And, of course, you can listen on the Odyssey app anywhere in the world. But if you're in St. Louis and you just want to go old school, 98.7 FM works just fine. And, of course, 1120 AM works as well.
I teased this a little bit earlier, guys, and we did hear it during the news. I'm not sure they mentioned it this last time around, but during the last hour here on KMOX News, you may have heard the story about some of the largest retailers, clothing retailers, or retailer of goods in the country are considering this. And we're talking about stores like Target, Walmart, Gap, American Eagle. These are some of these are clothing stores. They are considering this new policy that if you are to return something, instead of actually bringing it back to them or sending it back to them if you've bought online, and I think Amazon is actually part of this as well, they don't want you to send it back. They want you to keep it, and they'll refund you anyway. The reason for doing this is a lot of these stores are finding they've got too much inventory right now, which is weird to say considering we've been talking about supply chain issues for so long and there haven't been enough goods on the shelves for people to buy. Well, now they're saying they might have a little bit too much. Stuff like springtime jackets, workout clothes, bulky kids' toys, and it costs these stores too much money to store it. So what they're saying is they might be losing less money if you purchase something from them, you decide you don't want it, and instead of actually giving it back to them or taking it back or sending it back, you keep it and they reimburse you anyway. Which means, guys, free stuff.
Wait,
you
okay.
get free stuff now.
This is just a point of parliament here that they mentioned inventory. Did they say anything about the labor shortage and like not enough workers to process the returns and take care of everything?
Yeah, it's all part of it.
Okay,
That
okay.
it's. I mean,
That's fair.
all these things kind of go in. Fuel prices are part of it. The stuff that you mentioned as well. So there's now this inventory heap is what they're calling it, where stores are just, instead of giving you the money back and taking the goods back from you, they just say, hey, here's money because it's going to cost us less to do that. So here's what I know for a fact. People are going to abuse it if these stores end up doing it. Now, I'm not saying they're doing it yet, but they are talking about doing it, at least is under consideration. We know that people are going to abuse this.
Sure, because they always do. I think there's a
Is
famous
it abuse
story.
when you're doing it on purpose? I mean, like when
Yes.
the companies are doing it on purpose.
Because it's an honor system. LL Bean notoriously had their lifetime guarantee. You could return anything at any time for any reason. It's understood through the honor system that if you get your money's worth out of the product, if you like the product, you're not going to bring it back 30 years later and get money back. But that's exactly what people did. People would bring bags of LL Bean clothes. I'm not even joking. NPR did a story on this. Bags of LL Bean clothes that were, a decade old. They've obviously been worn, and they'd get their money back. People will always find a way to game the system. It's just, are there enough gamers to make the companies stop doing it?
That's a very good question, and I figure they would adjust to it, but maybe they're just assuming that most people won't go that direction. There's a guy, great name, by the way, and this is from a story in CNN Business. Bert Flickinger, or Flickinger, I'm not sure. That's his name. Great name.
I like Flickinger better.
Flickinger.
The jur sounds better.
I like flicking her. Flicking
Well, it's always like, what? What did you say?
I didn't say anything.
Amy.
Shut up, Evan.
I am not saying a word.
I know, just keep talking, Ron.
Go ahead, Raj.
I was thinking of it like I'm moving on so we don't lose the license. It was like Kim Basinger. Remember Kim Basinger? Everybody thought it was Basinger, but it's not. It's Basinger. That's kind of what I thought was going on here. Anyway, Bert says this. It would be a smart strategic initiative. Retailers are stuck with excess inventory of unprecedented levels. They can't afford to take back even more of it. Now, since we have free reign here to do whatever we want, would you feel guilty making a purchase of like $150? I don't know whatever it could possibly be. You make this purchase and you know full well in a couple of days you're going to say you want it returned. So you'll reach out and say, I am returning this. You go to the website or whatever, knowing full well you don't really want to send it back. Would you do that, first of all? Secondly, if you did, would you feel guilty about it after the fact?
If I went through with it, I would not feel guilty about it, but I'm not 100% sure I would do it. Like, if I made the decision to do it, then I have come to grips with what I'm doing, and I'm not going to be guilty about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if I decide
You've
to
already
do it,
passed the point of guilt.
Well, if I decide to do it, it means I don't think it's wrong.
Unless you
But I
think
have not
you won't.
decided that yet.
But you might think it's not wrong, and then when you do it, you feel guilty.
I never have retroactive guilt.
Wow.
Really?
No, because if I'm going to go, I've already thought through it. If it's questionable and I decide, you know what? There's nothing wrong with this. I'm
You've
doing
never
it.
done anything and then after the fact go, oh, maybe that I should not have done that.
I mean, yes, that, but I don't mean, I'm talking about
That's guilt.
Like, no, it's not guilt. It could be just
Have
like
you
a
ever
mistake.
read The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe? That guy meditated.
That's
this murder.
the poet.
Yeah, and he chops him up and sticks the guy under the floorboards.
I've never done that.
Okay, well, he thought about it a lot and he planned it. He thought about it for weeks and months, maybe years. And his guilt eventually ended up being at the end, even though he wanted to do it afterwards.
Well, I wouldn't do that.
Well, but you could.
My mind would not take me to that dark place. Well,
Wow. I didn't know we were working with a sociopath.
I know that, right?
That's what I'm
know.
saying.
That is exactly what sociopathy
Wait a minute, hold on.
is.
I said I would not kill someone. That makes me a sociopath?
No, it means that if you can't look back on your actions and feel remorse or guilt,
No, it
then
means I think them through, and if I think it's bad, I don't do it.
But
That's
sometimes,
what it means.
Have you ever done something and then after the fact you realized, oh, my logic in making that decision was faulty?
Oh yeah, I've done that. But that's not a guilt thing. That's just a react.
No, that's guilt.
No, it's
It can
it's a
be.
realization that I was wrong.
This went from being a story about Target to
I
me
know.
fearing for my own life.
You guys,
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
should
I
be
tell
afraid.
You guys you're afraid of everything. Both of
Germs.
you guys.
Well, germs.
Both of you guys are
Yeah.
afraid of everything. So the fact that you're afraid of me really doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah, germs.
You're afraid of people flushing the toilet and not having the seat down.
Okay.
Yeah, because of all the microbes in the air.
Here's the thing. The Target idea, you always hear about this during the Super Bowl. People always go to stores, buy big screen TVs over Super Bowl weekend, and then return it. They also do this with formal dresses.
Oh, yeah.
Formal
People do
dresses
this
are
with clothing a
expensive.
lot. Yeah.
So I had to find a formal for the chess gala this past year. And I was looking at all these different stores, and all the formal dresses during this formal holiday season had no return policy.
Yeah, because of this.
People buy a dress for $400, wear it once, and
You
then
just hide
return
the
it.
tag inside.
So
That's
easy
probably
to
what you did.
hide the tag.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do that.
I know guys that have done that where they bought a sport coat that they needed for a one event and then you just take it back because
Yes.
you didn't get it dirty. You didn't wear it 100 times. It's good
cheating.
as new. No, I mean, maybe it is, but
No, maybe. It's cheating, Kevin.
really?
Yep.
I think
So
what
if
I
you,
would.
if you wear it one time, it's cheating.
Yes.
Yeah,
because
if you know you're going to do it, if you know that's your intent, like I'm going to use it for this one thing
Mhm.
and I'm totally bringing it back, not like you bought it, you used it, and then you're like, you know what, maybe I
because
don't
they're
want this.
selling that dress for that one event. They're not selling, here's a formal dress you can wear every day. It's obviously for one event. Okay.
Unless you go to a lot of events, but then you probably don't want to
This
be
is my-
seen in the same thing all the time, right?
My everyday formal address.
So here's
formal
what
dress.
happened when I went dress shopping for that formal dress. I bought the dress, and then on the day of the event, because I like to cut things close, I like to live on the edge, get ready, it's time to leave. I put the dress on. They've left the
Oh, the
ink
security tag.
security tag, the inky security tag. So then I'm YouTubing videos on how to get those off without spilling ink everywhere, and I am not good with projects or crafts.
Do you know
And
what?
so I
That
had to find a
happened to
different
me
dress.
at a store in the mall because I love to go to the mall.
Yeah.
And I bought a few shirts and I've got them in the bag. And as she gives the bag to me, she says the beepers, the security system might go off. Just don't worry about it. Just go ahead and walk out. And I'm like, okay, I don't know why that would be. That's interesting. And it did. It went off as I was leaving. Well, I got home and she didn't remove one of the tags on one of them.
Yeah.
So like she actually didn't remove a tag. So I don't know why she told me. I don't think she did it on purpose.
I want to come back to the Target, the stores that are thinking.
By the way, Walmart says they have nothing to share at this time, according to the story, and Lowe's said they did not provide comment either.
Like,
so these two stores have not.
I was going to say, I don't understand why any of them would acknowledge this in any way, shape, or form. Like, if you're going to do this, you wouldn't want word to be out of it.
I wouldn't either.
Right.
No, absolutely
You
not.
would just
Even
want to do it without announcing it to people.
Right.
'Cause,
I
like,
also can't believe there isn't some solution that would say, hey, charities, would you like this stuff? We'll take it back and we can at least donate it to people.
Well,
and then we can write it off for taxes.
I would think they would have explored everything. This would be letting people have stuff for free would have to be the absolute last option for them.
Crazy to me.
See, I think they don't have
get to that.
They don't have the workers to sort, to organize, to get it to the charities. I mean, that's my guess.
Tell the charities, come get it.
Well, but you still have to accept, all of the packages, go through.
Right.
things.
They're just storing the stuff they said is a problem for them.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you have things in storage now that are in the way. If you got them out of the way, could you not then just go back to business as usual?
Kevin's a real answer man over there.
He really is.
I'm asking questions.
He really
like
is.
You guys
Yeah.
asking about whether pilots know what the buttons do.
Well, that was a good question. Sorry, it was a good question. And we got an answer,
He
didn't
knows
we?
everything. He never
Yeah, the
feels
answer-
remorse, and yet he's not a sociopath.
The answer you guys got was, duh. Yes, they know what the buttons do.
Well, I mean, there's reason to think they wouldn't.
Something's wrong with our eyes. 2 ways to listen to KMOX in your car. 98.7 in the city, 1120 AM further out. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? How would you like the potential to participate in credited interest from market index returns and limit the downside? Join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio. You can also call me now for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233.
Spark Co-working St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Co-working community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadium, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com.
Hey guys, Glover here, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
CertaPro painters have powers beyond those of ordinary painters.
Power of timeliness.
We show up when we say we will, on time and fully caffeinated.
The power of transformation.
Also known as making your house look so good, your neighbors will be jealous.
The power of certainty.
That's your local CertaPro painters. The power of pro. Get your project started at CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Liberal extremists threaten us with a socialist nightmare, and fake conservative Mary Miller helps them do it. In Washington, Miller repeatedly voted with AOC and the Socialist Squad to weaken America. Siding with the radical left, Miller voted to defund our military, oppose fair pay for our troops, and against investigating Joe Biden's disgraceful Afghanistan exit. Miller even bragged about being the only Illinois Republican to stand with AOC and the Socialist Squad to undermine our military. And before Miller sided with liberal extremists against our troops, her family got rich at taxpayer expense, banking almost $1 million in government subsidies. We can't afford to let the socialist win. We can't afford fake conservative Mary Miller. Strong Leaders Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Strong Leaders Fund, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 1900 Campus Commons Drive, Suite 100, Reston, Virginia, 20191.
With Pedal the Cause, you can make a real difference in the fight against cancer. Ride your bike, grab a spot in the spin zone, volunteer, and join the celebration September 23rd through 25th. 100% of participant-raised funds support innovative cancer research at Siteman Cancer Center and Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Together, we can create a world without cancer. Get started now at pedalthecause.org. That's pedalthecause.org.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how?
Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Nearly a century of informing, entertaining, and serving St. Louis. KMOX.
Back in on the show on KMOX, Amy, Mark Scores, Chris Ranchi, Kevin Wheeler with you. Which one of you guys was it you, Amy, or you, Ron, that brought up the weddings thing earlier?
It's probably Amy.
Was me.
Amy?
She's always talking about weddings.
I am no, it's just that there are just so many.
You always have one to
weddings.
go to.
They're so expensive, and they're a hassle. So anyway,
And I'm the sociopath. You're like,
people
people that love.
No,
getting
Amy,
together
that's
for
not
anniversary.
sociopath. That's just a recognition of how much they cost.
people get
That's all
married
that is.
all the time, and there's like a 50-50 chance it's going to work out. So the fact that you just put all that money into clothes and travel and hotel for something that got has a 50% chance of working out, well, that's a big ask. Anyway,
I mean, I have I don't have any love for weddings and ceremonies and receptions and all that either, because they're all the same. I feel like if I've been to one, I've been to them all. Like every one I've been to has been exactly like all of the ones before, except mine, which was awesome.
I'll tell you, well, of course, obviously, I'll tell you a wedding that was different, that was fun. This was years ago. A friend of mine got married, and I think they eloped or something. I don't know. But they had a party at her parents' house afterwards that served as the reception. And they just had like Qdoba, and they had a nacho and taco bar.
That's pretty
Qdoba,
great.
And it was so much fun.
Pretty
it was
great.
just backyard,
Yeah.
all the Qdoba you could eat. And I thought, this is a wedding.
Yeah, my brother's was pretty good like that too. Like the ceremony was in the backyard of a really nice house on the water, and then the reception was in the house. And it was pretty chill, pretty laid back. It wasn't anything big. We enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Ours was all done in one building. We did the wedding, the
I
reception,
love that.
and it was a hotel, which means nobody had to leave the building. So nobody's drinking and driving. Party raged. It is legendary.
Did you play heavy metal at your wedding?
Did I? No, I don't think I did. We might have mixed in some like 80s stuff. I think they mixed in some Van Halen and things like that, but not like metal, not like at that time, because this was early 90s. So no, none of the big. Not like Metallica or anything like that.
Am I wrong in assuming that destination weddings are designed to eliminate the riffraff from your attendance?
Maybe.
I don't know about design to, but I think they do have that effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
yeah,
if
you're
you're
not gonna act like your great Uncle George to come hang out in Cancun or in Hawaii or wherever.
Yeah, we're getting married in Switzerland in the Alps. Hope you can make it. It's like 4 people.
Well, what do they call it? It's an invitation, is what that is.
Is it?
That's a
I've
thing?
never heard of an
An
invitation.
invitation? Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, that you can you're being invited, but not really, because they know that you're going to say no. I don't know if that's what the purpose of a destination wedding is, but when we were talking about this earlier today,
Oh, that's a Seinfeld thing.
That's
I didn't know that.
yeah. It was about the wedding in
It's
India.
episode 980.
I think it's
908, according to the website.
Nobody cares,
the Google.
Kevin.
I think it is. I think it's the wedding in India, and the episode is a backwards episode where they start from the end and they work their way to the front. But yeah, that is that I don't know if again people do that on purpose, but I think there are sometimes it's destination wedding. They know who's going to go. They know who's not going to go, but they give them a courtesy invite anyway, knowing they're going to turn it down.
Now, there's another level to this, according to the Google.
Okay.
That you are not only hoping that they won't come, but you're hoping that
They'll
they will
give you a
feel
gift.
guilty and send you a better gift.
Yeah.
Better idea than inviting someone that you hope doesn't come. And I heard this. This is not an original idea. You go through the phone book and you pick out 50 random names and send them a wedding invitation. Nobody's going to know who you are. They're not going to go to your wedding, but at least half of them will send a gift.
Where are you getting a phone
Who
book?
would send a gift to
Well,
people
this
you
is
don't
an
even
old-
recognize?
Old information.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either.
Like, we
And
gotta get something like
hold on
from-
a second. Are you supposed to send a gift just because you've gotten an invitation?
I don't think so.
Because I don't.
I don't think
Unless
so.
I really
Josh, you're right.
like people.
No, I don't do that either.
I mean, I would say
Oh.
that, like, for example, Ranja, if you were getting married and I could not go for whatever reason, I would get you a gift.
Yeah, because I like you
But I
guys and
wouldn't
it's
do it
we're
like
close.
for like a distant person that I don't
Yeah.
see very much.
Okay, let's say you don't get a gift. Let's say you're bad at gifts. Let's say your name is Amy and you're bad at gifts.
Money.
Is this wrong? You bring a card, right,
Mhm.
to the wedding reception, and then you take a card off of a gift, and you put your card on that gift.
Well, that's a big risk
Yeah, what do you
because
know?
you don't
Because
know
the-
if their gift is horrific.
It's not gonna be. What's a horrific wedding gift?
I mean, I got some things we were like, what?
Like what?
I
Well,
don't
what if
remember,
they-
But I remember saying that. I remember being like, why did we get this?
What if they open the card that you've removed?
Like a pot
and the
holder.
card says, "Hope you enjoy the pot holder." You know what I mean? Like
What?
it specifically addresses the gift they got. Here, let me tell
Just
you
put
this.
money in the envelope and you're fine.
If you ever get married, Amy, or whoever in this room, anybody in this building, if they invite me to a wedding, if you ever this, I'm just going to tell you this right now. I have a thing about thank you notes.
Mhm.
I hate them.
Mhm.
I don't need you to send me a thank you note for coming to your wedding and getting you a gift. Here's what's happened. You invited me to the wedding. I brought you a gift. You gave me beverages. You gave me food.
I like
you
how
gave,
he's thinking.
You gave me cake. I give you a gift.
And you ate it.
The end of the transaction. That's it. I don't then need you to sit
What a-
down
Yeah?
and fill out 200 thank you notes to people who have already gotten you a gift.
I like you.
And you've already fed them.
Yeah.
Transaction
Okay,
over.
first
It's
of
done.
all, if I get married and have a wedding, you're not invited.
Good.
Second of all,
I'll find out where it is.
second of all,
We're going to be the wedding
Yeah,
crasher.
I'll be there.
Over
Hey.
here with Aunt Margaret's side.
I just know there won't be any single women there. I can tell you that.
The cult of personality. I know your anger. I know your dream. Did you hear what they were talking about on the Dave Glover show?
This is possibly a perfect song.
Give me that filet fish. Give me that fish.
I love that song. I don't know if you know that.
It's a
I'm
great.
serious.
The middle eight? The middle eight? Come on. The bridge in the McDonald's filet fish song?
I used to send that to somebody every first day of Lent, and once you hear it, it's stuck in your head like all day.
Give me that fish.
The Dave Glover Show. Weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
Parents, remember this website. Write it down, make a plan to visit. www.showmeschooloptions.org. Have you always wanted to send your child to private school? If they attend a public school district, or if they're coming in or just out of kindergarten, now may be your chance to receive up to $6,375 per child per year to apply towards private school tuition for this fall. But time is running out. The next school year is around the corner. Go to www.showmeschooloptions.org to learn more about Missouri's Scholars Program. It's new, it's free, it's a chance to invest in your child's future. The Missouri Scholars Program can be used for private school, homeschool, tutoring, therapy, and more. There's nothing more important you can do for your child's future this summer. Go to www.showmeschooloptions.org now. There could be $6,375 just waiting to be claimed. Tell your friends too. www.showmeschooloptions.org. Sign up and see. It's free. And who doesn't like free right about now?
Home values are through the roof with buyers paying way over asking price. You'd love to cash out your home's equity, but you're not quite ready to move, and soaring interest rates make cash out refinancing too expensive. Plus, you'll only get a fraction of your home's equity. It makes no sense. I have a smarter option, Truehold.com. Truehold will buy your home for full cash value. And here's the best part. You get to bank all the cash now and continue living in your home as long as you want. It's life-changing, and Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance too. Let's review. Truehold pays you 100% of your home's value in cash fast. Use your cash to do everything you've dreamed of: travel, pay off debt, or buy that new right-size home on the golf course. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com for the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's full value without having to move. 855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
At 1:30, it's sunny and 80 degrees downtown at the Arch. The House January 6th panel says it is calling a surprise hearing on Tuesday to present newly obtained evidence. The hearing comes after Congress left Washington for a 2-week recess. Lawmakers on the panel investigating the 2021 attack last week said there would be no more hearings until July. South Dakota's Republican governor is pledging to bar mail-order abortion pills, but says women shouldn't face prosecution for seeking them. Cooler temperatures are bringing relief. Now the St. Louis region needs more rain.
Their stream flows are getting a little bit, below normal, and soil conditions are starting to dry out. And if that process continues over the coming weeks or months, then we start really, getting worried about impacts.
National Weather Service meteorologist Jason Goslin says the region is classified as abnormally dry right now. He says the cool down does help stall drought. He tells KMOX if we can get back to near normal rainfall over the next couple of weeks, it would alleviate some concerns. We've got emergency vehicles still 370 west past 270. The 2 right lanes are closed and a stall 70 east before Hanley on the right shoulder. Weather is sponsored by Metro Transit. All about the sunshine today. Low humidity with a high of 82 degrees. Overnight clear sky, nice, low 59. Tomorrow lots of sun with a high of 85. Take Metro Transit to and from the heart of the Fair St. Louis action and Riverfront fireworks. Ride all day for just $5. No crazy gas prices, no parking, no worries. Visit metrostlouis.org and download the Transit app to start planning your holiday today. It's 80 degrees, a sunny sky downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hey guys, Glover here for Svedka Vodka Soda. Go to the next level. Replace your go-to cocktail with Svedka Vodka Soda. Canned vodka cocktails made with real vodka, real juice, and sparkling water at 8% ABV. Visit Svedka.com today. Go responsibly.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
Wondering if market volatility is the new normal? Are you looking to validate the financial decisions you've made or find out if there's anything else you could be doing? A conversation with an Edelman Financial Engine's wealth planner may give you peace of mind, no matter what's affecting the market. You'll get a valuable expert second opinion and a fresh perspective on your wealth planning. And you'll get insight into other opportunities available to you. Call Edelman Financial Engines now at 833-PLAN-EFE or visit EdelmanFinancialEngines.com for your complimentary retirement review and financial plan. That's 833-PLAN-EFE. Call by Tuesday at 10 p.m. and take advantage of this limited time offer. An $800 value, free. That's 833-PLAN-EFE or visit EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. You didn't come this far to only come this far.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Join me Monday mornings at 9:50 for our new feature, 5 Minutes with Number 5. And you know who that is? Albert Pujols. 5 Minutes with Number 5. Mondays at 9:50 a.m. on the Voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Chris Raji, Amy Marshcore, Kevin Wheeler with you here on the show. What do you think? Is this wedding reception music?
Yeah.
Oh, this sounds like, I don't even know.
Old people dance to this.
Dave, tell them who it is.
I hate to say this, but
Tell
what
them who
is
it
this?
is.
It's actually Disco Kiss.
Yeah, this is Kiss. They went through a disco phase there for a while.
Oh.
Off the Dynasty album.
Yep.
So wait,
if
they
you
wore
haven't
the face
seen-
makeup and sang
Oh,
this song?
yeah. They had a whole identity crisis, like right in the middle of their careers, because disco was big and they wanted to be really. If you ever watched you wouldn't, Amy, but Chris might watch the documentary that Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons were a part of, and you get the whole inside story from the beginning of the band all the way until like their recent tour Like I think it happened last year because it got shut down originally for COVID or something. But it's a really fascinating thing about them and how really what drove them more than anything was just like being big and famous and marketing and stuff like that. So they're always trying to find a hook. So they tried to find a disco hook.
Yeah, I had no idea they went through that phase.
Yeah.
I did know somebody who was really into Paul Stanley for some reason. She just adored him.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't know.
Hairy chested, lead singer.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him except
he was a sex symbol.
But it was also
at that time.
weird because we
the lead
were
singer for the band Kiss.
Oh.
That's why we're talking about that, because he's in that.
We were in our 20s.
You
and
don't
like that was
know
a very
who Paul
old
Stanley
band.
is.
No. Well, I'm not 52, so.
He's not the one with the tongue. That's Gene.
Gene Simmons
Oh,
is
yeah,
the
I know
demon.
who Gene
Everybody
Simmons
knows
is.
Gene with the tongue.
Demon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Paul Stanley's the lead singer.
Never. Paul Stanley to me is like the other guy in Wham.
Oh no.
Everybody knows George Michael.
Yeah, you're right. Who was the other person?
Andrew McCormick.
Oh.
That is not right.
Did you just make up that name?
It's not right.
Right. I think it's something like Andrew McCormick.
It is.
That's like, do you remember the first you remember the first season of American Idol?
It is Andrew.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's Andrew Ridgely.
Oh, okay.
That's why I knew it.
Andrew McCormick.
The first season of American Idol
Uh-huh.
was Ryan Seacrest,
And
Brian Dunkelman.
Who the what the?
Did you know there were two of them?
I
Two
did,
of
but I
what?
thought it wasn't Brian Dunkelman. I thought
I think
it was
it was
a guy
Brian. No, it was
that's on-
Brian Dunkelman.
I don't know what
There
you're talking
were
about.
there were two hosts
Oh,
of
two
American
hosts.
Idol.
Okay.
It was Ryan Seacrest and another guy. A lot of people don't know there was another guy.
Okay. So
Guy
this
got
is like,
pushed out.
This is like the fifth Beatle.
Yes.
Like there was a moment where you were a part of it, but then not so
Yeah.
much.
And then it became this juggernaut of a show that everybody loved and watched. Nobody
Whatever happened
remembers
to
there was
Brian Dunkelman?
I don't know. I don't know. I'd be very upset though if I were him.
Let's see.
And
if
Ryan
there's a
Seacrest pushed me
documentary
out.
about Brian. Wow, he had some big hair.
You know, I have often said that Kevin Wheeler is the Ryan Seacrest of KMOX. He's the
Did he push
busiest
a lot
man.
of people out?
Well,
Oh, geez,
Yeah.
Kevin.
No, he's
I've been known to flex on people.
he's a busy man. He's hanging out with his high school friends on the Dave Glover show.
Yep.
Oh, that's true.
He's
And
with
then you're
us.
my college friends.
Yep. Sometimes you do a little sports.
Usually-
once in a while, yeah, a little Cardinals baseball.
Usually, when you get college friends, you just forget about your high school friends.
Never.
Yeah, they're
Never
old
forget. Have
news.
you not seen the American Pie movies? You don't forget your high school friends.
Well, that's a movie, Kevin.
Do we have a text line texter?
Oh yeah, from a
Do we have a text line?
Would you like to hear the text?
I would love to.
Did we get a text on something we were talking about, Runch?
Well, I remember you guys said, "Hey, we've got all our texts we need to read."
From
the text line texters.
From a 618 area code. Hello, Southern Illinois. My nephew is getting married on top of a glacier in Alaska.
Better hurry.
They don't care about him. Yeah, right. Better do it soon. We'll all be underwater. They don't care about having anybody there. They're having a reception a couple of weeks later in St. Louis. I think maybe that is what a lot of destination people do. Well, I think that's right.
Yeah, that's okay.
And I would very much like that to happen because there's a wedding I have to go to in October. And the wife is from here.
Yeah.
And I would prefer if they just would not do, well, they could do their wedding on the East Coast. But then also, could you please just have a ceremony here so I don't have to go to the East
Or
Coast?
better yet, just a party?
Yeah.
I don't think there's
But they're not
anything
doing it.
wrong, Ron, with asking people who are getting married, making a decision that will change the rest of their lives
To consider me. Yes.
Cater to
Yeah.
you specifically. Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Rational.
Yeah. Well, what's wrong with asking somebody to
accommodate you,
alter their entire wedding ceremony because it would be more convenient for me if they picked a different spot to do it?
Here's a question. Do ship captains have to be on water in order to have the authority to marry someone? Because I think it'd be fun to get married by a ship captain.
Is that a thing?
Mhm.
If you're out in the middle of the ocean, a
Mhm.
ship captain has the legal authority to
Yep.
marry you?
Yep.
Are you sure about this?
I'm like 99% sure this is true. 'Cause
Google is your friend, Kevin. Look it
No,
up.
Kevin cannot Google his way through this show. This is
He does spend a lot of time over there on Google.
no.
He's like, I don't know if that's accurate.
Because instead of sitting here going, is it Andrew McCormick? I just look. I just look. It takes 10 seconds.
We decided Kevin's new superhero name.
Yeah.
Hey,
If-
by the way, a ship's captain generally does not have the legal right to officiate a wedding at sea.
Oh, so you're 99% sure, are you, Amy? We found out Kevin's
Yes, he does.
He must also be a judge, a justice of the peace, a minister, or an officially recognized officiant as a notary public.
So wait, so he doesn't have to be at sea. What'd you say?
No, he has to be one of those other things, or even being at sea means
Yeah,
nothing.
he can't just marry you because he's wearing a captain's
Okay,
hat.
first of
I
all,
like Captain Hook and be like, "Arr, you're
Yeah.
married."
well, when the show is over, I'm gonna Google this separately and do my own research because I think you Googled
Hey,
wrong.
listen, do the research. This
All right.
is from brides.com.
Oh, well, brides.com. They've never steered me wrong before. We did. During the break, we determined last segment that Kevin, his superhero, if he were if his real name was Kevin Wheeler, which it is, and then he became a superhero at night.
That's my Clark Kent.
Yeah, his name would be Answer Man.
The Answer Man.
Answer Man.
Answer
See,
Man
I'd
to
be
be
the
your-
opposite of Clark Kent, right? Because Clark Kent blends in. He's got the glasses, the whole thing. Well, me would be the opposite. I would have to have the glasses on to become Answer Man, and you
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's right.
recognize me. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
You would be the most annoying superhero in the
Wait, hold on. I'm going to Google it.
in the history of superheroes.
Is it Andrew McCormick? No, Google says it's Andrew Ridgely.
Gosh darn it, Answer Man, shut up!
Answer Man might get Amy to actually use the words.
That's what I'm going
Answer Man
for.
might get Amy to swear.
One of these days, that's my goal in life, is to make Amy swear.
The only time Amy's ever
Well, it's
done
one
it,
of
that
my goals.
Well, me too, and I think I'm getting pretty close. But she told us about the time she did swear at somebody.
What?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're bringing this up. This
And-
wasn't for public
And
consumption.
she told them ahead of time, "I'm about
Okay.
to swear at you."
Okay, this is not my proudest moment. I actually regret sharing it with you because honest to
Oh,
goodness.
you feel guilt.
Yeah, I have so
Kevin,
much guilt.
I don't
heard
know
of
what
it?
that is.
Oh.
Honest to goodness. Did not want this on the radio.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Well, you have to put a disclaimer on it.
So what happened was it was an argument with someone, and I don't cuss, and I really don't like when people lose their temper. So
Oh boy,
this
that's why you hate me so much.
person, yeah, this person, it was like 10 years of arguments. He had it coming. And so
I believe it. If it made you swear, I believe it.
We all got it coming, kid.
so we were arguing, and I said, listen, I am really angry right now, and I'm going to use a bad word, but I'm telling you so that you know I am actually choosing to go against my principles rather than losing my cool.
Which does carry some weight.
Yeah, and being out of control. But this is, and then blanky, whatever.
Your poopy pants.
I can't believe you brought that up.
I can't
feel
believe that was
horrible.
not for public consumption.
Well, because it's not a good story.
Oh,
It's a great story.
Not bad at all.
It's a great
But
story.
I told him I'm going to use a bad word.
It gives people a real insight, a real window into you.
Yeah, this is shocking, I'm sure, to anyone who's ever heard me
Well, no, the
speak.
fact that you had to,
It makes
like,
you
you
a
put a
sympathetic
disclaimer on
character.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, it makes you a sympathetic character.
it does.
Because the fact that the one time you
Look.
did it, you even thought you were so thoughtful. I'm not
Yeah.
even kidding.
Yeah.
You were so thoughtful that you almost apologized in advance.
Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm about to swear at you.
Whereas
But
I am
you-
like, you turn on the faucet and here come the
But I
foul
want
words.
you to know that I'm choosing to do this.
Right, to make a
because
point.
I have been upset and I'm frustrated.
Amy, you really come out good in this story. I'm dead serious. I'm not making fun of you at all. This makes you look better because you are actually thoughtful about it, unlike the rest of us who are just like, burpity burp, burp, burp.
Kevin says more like when he sneezes or just walks in the office. From the time he takes 7 steps from the office to his chair, he has said more than I have said in my entire life.
Within 10 seconds of any day walking in the building,
Yep.
I have already outsworn Amy. Like,
Oh,
like
yes.
instantly.
We set the clock over every day, and he wins every day.
Oh my God, yeah. Like those things they have in workplaces, like this many days since the last
Since the last accident?
last accident. We just reflip that every day.
However long the segment is, that's the record
I
for the
mean,
day.
I'm half surprised I make it through any of these segments without it. I mean, how many times have you heard me catch myself live on the radio?
It's happened at least a few.
You know what's funny is I haven't caught you, Wheeler, but I have caught this guy over on the right.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Caught him what?
Almost. I almost did it last week, didn't I? I forgot what it was about, but
It was last week. he started with a different letter that he
Yeah.
started with a different
Yeah, it almost happened.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, we still have a license because I have a filter.
Yeah.
And Dave's got the button back over there in
That's
case he
always
needs
the
to press
backup.
it.
That's the backup plan.
Yeah, I mean
But the filter is a real thing. Amy doesn't need one, thankfully. One of us is. I don't know. Is that normal or are we?
I
normal?
can't. Well, I think I can't trust her.
What?
Really?
I can't trust her
You
because
can't
she
trust
won't. Yeah, because she won't.
I think you're making that up.
Yeah, can't trust
I
Jamie.
have a filter, but it's not for bad words. It's like all the weird things that.
And that filter, I got to tell you, that filter's broken.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
If you filed a tax extension in April, don't wait until it's too late to handle your tax issues. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. Every year, thousands of Missourians file extensions when their taxes are due in April. But what people don't know is the extension only moves your deadline to file your return, not to pay your taxes. So if you didn't pay anything back in April, you could now owe taxes plus interest plus penalties. You think you bought yourself time, but really you've just added to the total bill. If this sounds like you, call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I am a local tax attorney with an A+ BBB rating, and I will meet with you right away to help handle your tax problems quickly. The deadline to file your return after an extension has already passed, so call the Lance Drury Law Firm now before it's too late. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
CertaPro commercial painters have powers beyond those of ordinary painters.
Power of minimal disruption.
We work with you to ensure a smooth project,
The power of making you look good.
making sure it's done right, on time and within budget, so every property manager looks like a hero. That's CertaPro painters.
The power of pro.
Get your project started at CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
We're all on this planet together. So join Odyssey and find your one thing. Don't buy plastic toys for your pet. Instead, look for natural materials like cotton, rope, wood, or bamboo. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
I'm a martial artist, a pilot, mountain biker, hiker. The thing that brings me down is my feet. When my wife finally talked me into going into the Good Feet store, the salesperson there immediately started investing himself in my problem. This is not something that you could solve online. There's got to be somebody there that can help you find that fit. You put in the arch supports and your day becomes better and the clouds go away and it's a good life. I wear them all the time. Good Feet has saved the day.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief. Good Feet arch supports are proudly made in the USA.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling, here to tell you about an organization that is near and dear to our company and one we've been proud to sponsor, Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight flies World War II, Korea, and Vietnam War veterans to Washington, D.C. for free to see their memorials. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight is looking for you. If you know of a veteran, please sign them up for their honor flight, or if you'd like to lend your support, visit gslhonorflight.org. And for all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
OMG, guess what? What? I just heard that our two favorite things are coming to Busch Stadium this month. Harrison Bader, Abby, and boy bands? Yes. Friday, July 8th is Boy Band Night, and with the purchase of a special theme ticket, we can take home a really cute Cardinals Boy Band t-shirt. It reminds me of one of our faves. This is literally amazing. Plus, there's a pregame concert by the Boy Band Night Band. We better get our tickets now. Get yours at cardinals.com/theme.
When you dress to impress, you gotta bring a strong sock game. When the Cardinals host the Phillies on Friday, July 8th, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will take home a pair of specially designed Yachty and Wayno socks, highlighting the historic Cardinals duo. That's Friday, July 8th, the Cardinals, the Phillies, and the Yachty Wayno socks. Great seats remain. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
Whether you're looking to fill low spots in your lawn, backfill that new retaining wall, or mulch your trees and flower beds, St. Louis Composting has the compost, soil, or mulch you need to help your plants and garden look its very best. Visit our website, stlcompost.com, for more information. The annual Swing for Kids golf tournament at Lake Forest Country Club is Monday, August 8th. Find out more information or register your team at communitylivingmo.org/golf.
Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. They're back.
Three best friends. The three amigos. Yeah.
Kevin, Chris, and Amy. The show.
All right, getting ready to wrap up the show. DGS coming up after the 2 o'clock news. We got a little bit of breaking news on the Cardinals front just a few minutes ago. So in the middle of our last segment, the team sent out a press release. Jack Flaherty has been placed on the 15-day injured list with a right shoulder strain. Harrison Bader on the 10-day injured list with right foot plantar fasciitis. Oh, that have you ever had that?
No, but
it's awful.
Yes,
especially
it's
for
bad.
a fast guy, that's
I know,
not good.
It's awful. Hopefully, it's not a really bad case and he can recover with a little bit of rest. But it is super painful. So those two headed to the injured list. Right-handed reliever James Nail and outfielder Connor Capel have been chosen to come up from AAA Memphis. So if they both get into a game before they go back down, they will both be making their major league debuts. They would be the 10th and 11th players to make their major league debut for the Cardinals this year, which is a lot.
So is that about as high of a number in recent memory?
Yeah, it's the second highest in baseball this year.
Okay.
The Pirates are the only team that have had more guys make their major league debut. The thing with the Cardinals is a lot of them have done really well. I think Brendan Donovan has been a massive, positive force on the team. Juan Yepes has been that, Nolan Gorman. So they've had some good results with it. Not all of them as good as those guys, but and obviously we just saw a little bit of Ivan Herrera here, and he's going to get a little more run in the coming days. So Flaherty and Bader to the injured list, James Nail and Connor Capel to the big leagues.
I told you I hate inflammation.
Yeah, well, it's now diagnosed as a right shoulder strain, which is really concerning.
It's very concerning, especially because of the things we talked about earlier, in that they gave him what we thought was ample rest and then tried to ramp him back up. And then he had the rehab assignment. And all of that is done very carefully with the idea that if we do this slowly, he'll be okay. And they still went slowly with him and they treated him very carefully, and this still happened
after just three starts.
Extremely concerning.
I can't imagine the frustration because athletes want to compete. Elite athletes want to compete. That's what they do. And imagine you're battling your way back from an injury. You finally get back. You're pitching. Boom! You're knocked back down again, over and again.
And the same thing basically last year.
Yeah.
I mean, you tried to get back, but it wasn't really useful. You missed the second half of the year, but. Not good news. And when it's the same kind of thing, like a right shoulder strain, I think those things are very nebulous. It can mean a lot, but once the shoulder is unstable a lot of other things are at risk, like in and around, because there's so many moving parts in the shoulder. It's not like an elbow where if this one part's broken, we know how to fix it, we fix it, and eventually you're going to be normal. You get so many things that are connected in the shoulder that if one goes wrong, it starts to destabilize another and destabilize another. It's a cascade effect. So not good news for the Cardinals, and it'll certainly kind of inform what the team's decision-making process is going to be over the next 6 weeks or so. I mean, we're, not quite, we're about that, right? 5-6 weeks away from the trade deadline. So, they're going to have to scramble, I think, a little bit in the short term to make sure that they've got coverage there. It could be a guy like Jake Woodford coming back at some point. I would assume that like James Nail is just a short term. We need help in the bullpen. We'll get him here. And then when we need a starter, we'll send him back down or something along those lines. But you've already got a lot of guys here you didn't start the year with, right? Like Fernandez is here, Packy Naughton. So yeah, they're scrambling a little bit right now.
Well, the good news is for them is this division stinks. It's not very good. So if you have to deal with this stuff, at least in the short term, because you don't have to worry about playoffs yet, it's not like you're going to get buried if you don't have him, if he's not able to pitch, and you're trying to make up the innings between now and I don't know, like let's say this goes down for a month or so, where he's just not available for you, and you're hoping to get Matz back soon, but you're still looking to cover a bunch of innings. You can do this for a while. It's not a problem yet, but there is time to address it before the deadline. And again, you're playing against bad teams. Your division isn't very good, so nobody else is going to run away with this. Because even if Milwaukee is the favorite to win the division for a lot of people, they're not going to run away with this thing. It's still going to be tight.
I know we were talking about not having any regret, and Kevin has none.
That's
no
not what
remorse.
I said.
Right, because he's thought through everything.
It's a made a decision, but okay.
I believe we asked pilots to call
Why?
in
It's a good question.
To see if
Do you
they
guys
knew.
know what the buttons do in the cockpit?
I didn't say buttons. I said all of the buttons.
Oh, that's really a big difference.
Well, yeah, if there are 1,000 buttons, Kevin, I'm sure there's a time where a pilot at least has to think about what one does.
That's not the same as not knowing.
Like, what is this one? I said at least.
Here's what we're going to do.
At
I'm pushing
minimum.
the eject button right now.
All right.
DGS next on KMOX.
If you have a kitchen or bath remodel that you're going through, or maybe you're adding a garage or a pool, or you've got a business or industrial setting that has electrical issues or projects, trust the pros at Reinhold Electric. They've been doing it for decades. Heck, you see the Reinhold Electric trucks all over the metro area and beyond. They do work in homes and businesses all over St. Louis, St. Charles, Lake of the Ozarks, southwestern Illinois, and they have a 24-hour